So we start this game with a fair bit of noise here at the MCG on a misty, almost foggy evening, and Buckley, maybe appropriately, gets the first kick of the match and belts the ball to centre half forward. It was in the direction of Rocker. Well done, Nick Stevens. Stevens' kick out wide is a good one, and Wanganeen's taken a very good mark. What a great footballer this bloke has been. He's been down a bit since coming back from injury in the last 3 weeks, but he is a superstar. He's kicked the centre wing. French, who has been very good, to Bond. Bond's kick, well, it looked neat off the boot, but it found Godden in the back pocket. Godden takes a risk, goes across the ground. Tyson Lane, what a season he's had. He's been a revelation. Prestia Giacomo under some pressure there. Wobbles it along the ground. It's okay though to Gavin Brown, who's been rejuvenated as well, particularly in recent weeks. His kick to the space, okay to Wosley. Wosley's about 80 metres from goal. Goes to full forward. Wanganeen, a beauty. Pushed into it, and acrobatically, as he's done so often in the past, takes a thrilling mark.
A tremendous player, Wanganeen. Gets the ball across there to Lade. Lade not far away from the defensive square. His kick finds Paxman. Just runs outside his defensive 50 and goes long, kicks the ball all the way down towards half forward. Now a kick is being awarded off the ball, and it's against Batheris.
That's right, Robbo, and would have been 40 metres away from the footy and paid for by the umpire behind the play.
Burgoyne was the player that was interfered with. That's a kick that's been well marked by Treadray. That was a bit too simple. Treadray to shoot for goal from about 45 metres, pretty well straight in front.
And I'll just say, looking at the Port Adelaide forward line as we see a replay of Treadray taking the mark, they have gone very tall in the conditions. Barnaby, French, Treadray and also Chalmers starting forward in the greasy conditions.
Treadray, still a young man, just 20 years of age. Good kick for distance, but not the accuracy. The first score is a behind kick by Warren Treadray for Port Adelaide.
Lockyer to bring it in for Collingwood. Keeps it low, dangerously, but that's a good mark taken by Michael, who did a sensational job against St Kilda last week. Francisca's kick is a beauty. Releases Lane to Batheris. Batheris' kick to the pocket is excellent. Rocker on the lead.
Interesting to see what happens here, Jason. The opportunity for Treadray, he was a little closer, a little bit more in front of goals too. He missed. Now the opportunity for Rocker, he might just put some pressure on, scoreboard pressure on Port Adelaide early.
That's where the inaccuracy really hits home. But a very good set play from Collingwood. I don't think the kick out hit the intended player, but the second kick was very good. They obviously had a plan for a player to break free into the centre square. He did that, dished off the handball, and the pass to Rocker was very, very good.
We've been waiting for a bag from Sav this year. He hasn't kicked more than 4 goals in any match. Let's see what sort of form he's in. He's kicked it pretty well. He likes it as a goal. Well, I reckon if Collingwood could choose one bloke to kick there first, it'd be Sav, just to get him going.
He's very much a confidence player. As Robbo mentioned, look, one of the problems they've had all year, Port Adelaide, is their inaccuracy. And all of a sudden it comes to the other end. We just see this, the play from down back. Francisca looked straight into the middle then, had the loose player, the handball was dished off, and a very good kick coming in from Batheris down to Rocker. Finished off a set play in great fashion, Sav Rocker.
Well, you're watching there a magnificent kicking style of Severio Rocker. He has kicked the first goal of the game. The misty rain abating slightly. Batheris, Buckley, taken to the ground was Kingsley, and the umpire has no option but to bounce once again about 5 or 6 metres from the centre circle. There's the Port Adelaide bench at the start of the game. Some young faces there. Monkhorst, 201 games now for the Magpies. Damien Monkhorst gathered for Port Adelaide by Brewer. Handballer wide to Lyle. Now Nick Stevens, left foot kick into the pocket. Puts a little bit of pressure back there on Chalmers. The ball taken away by Anthony Rocker. Handballs across his defensive square. Michael, hand passes much better. Opportunity for Burns. Didn't he have a good look and then kicked it nicely onto the chest of Krasiska at centre half back. He's allowed to run away onto his favoured left side and gets good distance with the kick. Oh, spectacular leap and magnificent mark to Tarrant. Gets the kick away. It goes forward. It came from Bathiris. Collingwood now right in front of the goal. Wanganeen. He plays that magnificently. He must have had 101 free kicks like that in his AFL career, and he's got another one tonight in this situation.
He didn't have to overplay this one much though, Robbo. He absolutely got collared, so certainly didn't have to play up for the free kick. That was clearly an indiscriminate tackle.
Wanganeen across to Nick Stevens. Short kick. Lyle. Back to Stevens. Down the ground go Port Adelaide.
Getting plenty of it early, Stevens. Kicks to centre wing. Worked off it there is French. Brewer. Still with Godden. Back to French. Handball. Buckley got it. Fortuitously. Kick was clever. Krasiska's been important. To Lane. Collingwood playing very confidently early. Wasley again. Goes to the pocket. Bad kick under pressure. It's a good chase there from Eagleton. Just kept the pressure on, and Lay took the mark. Short to Eagleton, who started on the interchange, playing his 50th game tonight. Look, one of the best young kids in the comp last year, has struggled this season, and that's not what you want, kicking into the man on the mark. That's unusual. You don't really see that too often in that situation. Boundary throwing. This was a beauty by Tarrant. Geez, he is a talent, isn't he?
He leapt from a long way away too.
Kicked 4 last week, that kid, in Collingwood's big win. Lay got it down to Stevens. Stevens got it down to Francis, having a fantastic season. Francis bangs it out to centre wing. Good looking kick too. And Treadray, who, well, he could be a giant of the game. He's probably 2 or 3 years behind Richardson at this stage, but who knows how good this kick could be.
Adam Kingsley's come off the ground now, Bruce. They're just checking out his cheekbone, and looks like he might be off the ground for the rest of the night. We'll just keep an eye.
That's Kingsley, is it? Okay, thank you.
Kingsley.
He got tackled heavily, and I think he hit his head on the deck when he got tackled.
That's a blow. Steinburner to Bond, back to Steinburner, who's got the job on Buckley. It's a bit of an inside-out kick to try and keep it in play. Prestigiacomo was the flyer. Treadray, Brewer held up the handball rather cleverly. Kicks across the face of goal. A battle here in the pocket. Boundary throwing. That's a good matchup. Burns and Dew, 2 very good players. Boundary throwing. There's Kingsley, best and fairest last year. Probably in front of their best and fairest so far this year.
Yes, being tended to by the medical staff tonight. An expected minimum of 8, currently 11. Right in front of the Port Adelaide goal.
Good tackle.
Michael tackled. Ball spills for Prestigiacomo. He can't break away. Front on there was Godden, and that is illegal according to the umpire.
Well, the whistle so soft.
Yeah, it did look soft, but the whistle went up earlier, but he didn't blow it, and I don't like that. When an umpire puts a whistle to his mouth and doesn't blow it, moments before he's paid that free kick, the whistle went up and down again, and
Do you know the most ordinary thing about that? 90% of the people that come to the football come for the physical clashes. They come for good, hard, body-on-body stuff. And we can't afford to make it too soft. Not sure whether that was a genuine free kick, but it's Chalmers who will shoot for goal, and he'll kick a goal for Port Adelaide.
Well, there's one thing you can be sure of. Port Adelaide won't mind that free kick being paid. It doesn't matter how you get the goals, you just need to get them on the board. They have had trouble with their goal kickers. They've had trouble with accuracy. Gee, that looks soft on replay. And the thing being, all he didn't react to the high tackle. He started to follow the ball. He didn't think there was a free kick in it.
And the Collingwood boy, I thought, stopped a little bit on
I
his
agree
break.
with you, Robbo. He was actually stopping, and there was no firm contact that warranted the free kick, so certainly unwarranted.
Kingsley. Looks like a stitch has gone in, at least one. Here's how he hurt himself.
Oh, just the hand coming around to grab the ball might have caught him, poked him in the eye.
Inadvertently there from Tyson Lane. So Port Adelaide in front by a single point here. Moncourse. Buckley's kick out of the centre. High ball to half forward. Oh, that was terrific courage from Bond and Lane, both going hard at it. Eagleton, and it'll be a ball up at centre half forward for Collingwood. Eagleton picks himself up. A lot of kids here, Collingwood bench. Mark Richardson amongst that group. Tony Shaw's played a lot of kids in the last few weeks, and he's settled on a few of them, and they've had some very good form. Stevens handball. Gee, he's been good early, Nick Stevens.
5 touches.
Braden Lyle, check side kick to keep it in. Burns and Brewer. Brewer okay. Wilson's handball was terrific. Bit slow. Where was it? Chalmers building it to goal. That was a good kick. It's touched and it's through for a behind.
Cresta Giacomo, good chase.
It was Chalmers, Mark Williams, who chatted to us before the match. Copeland Trophy winner at Collingwood, captain of the club. As I said, there's a lot of synergy. I must say, every time I see Port Adelaide play, I feel like calling them the Maggies. I was brought up in South Australia. It's been a hard habit to get out of.
Did you bag for him as a young boy, Bruce?
I was Norwood, to be honest, Dipper, and that is as far away from Port Adelaide as you'll ever get.
I'll tell you what, they have a magnificent record of premierships. And they're striving to participate in the finals in their 3rd season of AFL. Collingwood get the ball down towards the wing. We've got the chance here. Lane, who's quite skillful off both sides, missed his target, which was Tarrant, then not clear for the boundary line. And maybe Darren Mead a little fortunate, but he was a long way away, wasn't he?
He was a long way away. Gavin Wanganeen on the inside of him, so certainly reasonable for him to hit the ball towards. You see Gavin Wanganeen between him and the boundary line, so he has to be given the benefit of the doubt.
You're being very kind if you think that punch was meant for Gavin Wanganeen, Johnny.
Oh, we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt in those circumstances.
Oh, ridden into the ground there was it Tarrant? No, it was Gavin Brown, I think, by Nick Stevens. Maybe a little stiff not to get the free kick there, Gavin Brown. We have another look here. It was Steinburner who
I think
all
Gavin,
over the top of him.
And, that sort of tackle has to be penalised because he just buried him.
Ruck work being done by Sav Rocker. Still Gavin Brown. Stevens, that's Nick Stevens. I must mention that there looked as though there could have been a little bit of confusion here tonight because Michael Stevens was in the 25 for Port Adelaide. He was left out of the 22 players to represent Port Adelaide tonight. Michael Stevens, but it's Nick Stevens wearing number 36 that we look as though we're going to be calling a lot of. He's already had 6 possessions in this game.
Well, nothing wrong with Adam Kingsley's cheekbone, which is good news. His eyes have been checked and he's seen okay now, boys, and expecting to be back on the ground.
That's a real bonus, Dipper. Godden's gone back onto Dew and Burns has come out onto Brewer, so a change there. Bond was over the top of Brown. Little kick away from Nick Stevens. He did a good job there because had he kicked fully through the ball, it would have gone out on the full. Boundary throw-in. So goals pretty hard to get. Port Adelaide have played a number of games in Adelaide this season where conditions have been dreadful on the Saturday night. Low-scoring matches. They kicked 4 goals 8 3 weeks ago and won a game.
Oh,
now free kick against
against Port, clearly because there was a Shepherd laid by didn't pick up which player it was, but a Shepherd laid by the non-ruckman.
Sav Rockers kick to full forward. Tarrant big fly with Tucky through Daniels' fingers. That's a throwaway from Collingwood. No free kick. Wanganeen was terrific to Lyle, to Francis. Wanganeen's been important early. Francis kicks to the space and finds it. He wanted the boundary line. Big Monkey was sitting out there on his own. Gee, Fabian Francis, who wanted to give it away at the end of last year, was going to go back to Darwin.
We see Sav Rocker's run blocked here, and that is a clear free kick against Stephen Daniels. Good problem at all.
Good camera work there. So the boundary throw in right half forward, Collingwood in attack.
I was just going to say, Bruce, if you could see that, John, how come one of those 3 umpires down there couldn't see it? I mean, that's the question that most of the footy fans at the game, I'm not saying they're all in a position where they can see that, but certainly the ones watching on television.
Yeah, that free kick was paid on this side of the ground. We just saw the replay of the reason the free kick was paid. So, but certainly they are often missed.
Monkhorst and Lade. Nick Stevens again, taken by Damien Monkhorst. Gets the ball away to Tarrant, then Buckley. Buckley towards full forward. Taken by Sav Rocker. Took a long time to turn around, eventually gave the hand pass off to Brown into the middle, and it's taken by Wasley. Wasley, forward end of the centre square. He's probably 60 metres from goal. Looking to pass it off. Goes into the pocket, not bad. Good lead and mark taken by Freeborn. 40 metres from goal, perhaps a little closer.
He just held it up long enough till a good lead came. There were a few short leads put in that really would have been 50-50 competitions, but in the end, Freeborn able to make a good lead, get a little bit of space ahead of Bond and a pinpoint pass.
So Freeborn, a shot at goal from a similar position on the ground that Sav Rocker kicked the Magpies' first goal from. Glenn Freeborn going for the Magpies' second. A pretty good shot at goal. Very good shot at goal. Pies have got two.
Premiership player at North Melbourne in 96. So the Power get out of the centre through Burgoyne. Chalmers was okay there. He was strong. I think
it's Burns there too that confronted him. Bruce was
Did a good job, Burns.
Oh, didn't he? Yeah.
great season he's had. A terrific season. Last couple he's had at Collingwood. Burns. A lot of people think he's the second bloke they picked when they named them on Thursday night. Michael's kick to centre half forward. French didn't take it. Little kick by Tarrant to half forward. Terrific effort there at the back.
He's made it.
Not paid. Gee, stiff. Brown to Bond. Bond threw it away in the end. Probably got a high tackle first up. Comes back to Tarrant. Tarrant, good kick inside to Krasiska, who's been important early. He's a probing kick, Krasiska. He's normally an accurate one too. He'll try and give it off. He had King short. He's going to pop it up to Tarrant, I think. It's the fly. Wanganeen back. Mead kicks hard and long out wide. But Monkhorst and Burns will lead in the race. Burns will provide the shepherd for the big monkey. Monkhorst picks it up and goes to the pocket to Freeborn. Hard mark, couldn't quite take it. Sliding in a couple of players. Forcing it out. Bond and Lane. Boundary throw in.
Doesn't seem to quite control it. I mean, he hasn't got control of it here, and didn't have control of it there because it actually hit the deck on the way down. We'll see it from this side.
He kept it off the ground for a long time, though. That still hasn't hit the deck yet.
No, but he didn't control it, Jason. I think that's why they called play on.
Fair call.
Buckley across his left shoulder. Good kick, good distance. Right into the area that Port Adelaide will like to see the ball cleared from. It was Wanganeen out towards the half-back area. Burns, well, he's been paid the mark. There was a little bump off the ball that allowed Burns to take a clear chest mark. He kicks into the pocket. Sav Rocker punched away by Bond. French tackled by Rocker. Just tapping the ball clear there was Wilson. Now Francis receives and then kicks with the left. Right down the line in the area there of Treadray. Hacked out of there, but a free kick has been picked out, Johnny.
Free kick paid for holding the jumper, Robbo.
It's going to Prestigiacomo. He's between right half-back and right centre wing in front of the Great Southern stand. Just developing slowly, Simon Prestigiacomo, but Collingwood will be looking for big things. There's another free kick. They're home here at the MCG, these boys.
And reasonably. I mean, Buck's just pushed out of the contest. We see, the right arm just pushes him out of that marking contest. No intention for going for the footy. Fair free kick.
Free kicks 3 apiece. Buckley assessing, delivers well. Tarrant.
He's looked particularly dangerous early, Chris Tarrant, hasn't he? Loves to run and jump at the ball, and he's certainly presenting himself on a number of occasions, and if you keep presenting yourself in the right spot, you're going to take a few marks.
Good story in the paper today about Chris Tarrant, young Alvey,
Still not convinced.
Solomon.
Sorry, Robert. Still not convinced with Johnny Russell saying that's a dead set free kick.
Well, he's run past the footy, so he couldn't have had an intention to take the mark. He's run past the footy to get rid of Buckley.
Tarrant from about 50 metres. He's got the goal. That came back beautifully. Looked an absolute certainty to miss to the left.
I don't know if that kick was ever going to go through until it actually crossed the line. It didn't look high enough, it didn't look straight enough, it didn't look long enough. And in the end, inside it went. They've certainly had the majority of the ball up forward this quarter so far, Collingwood, and gee, they're finishing off well. 3 straight kicks, all very good finishes.
As you say, didn't look a chance of the run, but home it went. It's a good start now. So Tarrant proving a handful. There's Kingsley patched up. Gee, could he see? No.
I'd say he's had a fingernail in the eye from that clash.
So Left eye covered up. Buckley couldn't get it away. Steinbrenner good then. Went off the ground
stolen
from Lockyer. This bloke's playing some sort of a game. Wanganeen goes back inboard to Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner sits it up. He's hooked it a bit and it's a behind. So Collingwood very accurate going forward. And Port Adelaide, Steinbrenner, Central District players, got the job on Buckley. Buckley getting a bit of it early. But there's Kingsley. So, well, we don't know. It'd be pretty doubtful, you'd reckon, wouldn't you? But see if he can make any sort of a recovery. Lockyer to Krasiska. Krasiska providing a link tonight on his own so often. And Bathiris gets it off him. And back to Lockyer. Runs hard to Buckley. They've found their man. Their field kicking's been very impressive. 7th kick for Buckley. Pops it up. Rocker coming in hard.
Right.
From the side, no mark play to Port Adelaide, off the ground. Daniels couldn't quite. Bond was the man who came in hard. Free ball, and the ball still to run. Francis gets a free kick, surely. Held on to.
And a lot to like about the way Bond just came in from the side, almost from the front, and put himself into that marking contest, and that's a clear free kick to Fabian Francis.
Beautiful kick by Francis to Braden Lyle at half back. Keeps it pretty low as he belts it to centre wing. Front spot, that's a good mark, Chalmers. Chalmers and Preston Giacomo. So Chalmers with an early goal for Port Adelaide. Took a good mark there. Gets good distance. He is a thumping kick. Treadray will be a target all night. They'll want him to take marks. Brewer's normally a good kick. That one under pressure misses the lot. As it bounced in, I think it has, so it's a boundary throw in right forward pocket.
Mark Williams barking instructions down to the bench. First year coach of Port Adelaide, and they really are a definite chance to sneak into the 8 and participate in the finals, but they've got to win at least 11 games, you would think. Now, not much happening from that passage of play, so the umpire will bounce right in front of the Port Adelaide goal. Collingwood 18, lead Port Adelaide 9. Some interesting matchups there. Darren Mead on Chris Tarrant. Well, experience-wise, Darren Mead, you would think, would have it all over him, but Tarrant doing pretty well in the early part of the game. So was Buckley. Quite magnificent, gathering the ball, got it right to King, in turn to Freeborn. One of only 2 players that have played every game for the Magpies this year. Good pass has found Krasiska. He's forward of the wing. He swings around onto the left, kicks it in towards half forward, and the mark is beautifully taken. Down low for Collingwood by Fuller. Goes on to Brown. Well done, Gavin Brown. Magnificent servant of the Collingwood Football Club. The plaudits go back down the field.
Yeah, Gavin Krasiska ran 70 or 80 metres to create an option there, and that was just fantastic that he ran to the space and created the opportunity for the forwards.
He's been getting the opportunity to play a little bit further upfield, Gavin Krasiska, and he's really enjoying that role.
He's taken 5 marks and had 7 possessions, Krasiska. But this is Brown with the football, a veteran now. By gee, he has been a sensational player for Collingwood. The angle, it's fairly severe. He's in the right forward pocket. He does well. Magpies have got their 4th.
He's finished off a good piece of work, Gavin Brown. That's 4 straight Collingwood have kicked, which is really hurting Port Adelaide, who had the same number of scoring shots, but they've only reaped 1 goal's reward. Just a good movement of the ball. Look, Brad Fuller came in from the side and threw himself at the ball, took the bit between the teeth, and I like the way he bounced up and played on as quickly as he could and made full benefit of the space that Gavin Brown had created.
Pinching a lead here now, Collingwood. They've been very, very clean up forward. 4 goals to 1-3. Brown kicking his 20th goal of the season. Richardson on the ball. French. Richardson has a second go. King. Danger time for Port Adelaide here. Bond attacked it superbly and then boots the centre half forward. Treadray and Chalmers. Chalmers front spot. Rather laid. Good smother by Michael. Was important. Richardson keeps his eye on it. Stevens comes across, cuts back to Lockyer. Lockyer, handball inside was good to Preston Giacomo. Well done, got around Chalmers a bit too easily. Runs and then delivers with a poor kick to centre wing. Brown may have got the call to leave it, but there is terrific to Buckley. Lockyer may mark this. He's a chance. Well done at the back, Patsman. Fuller has just come onto the ground and taken an important mark. Francis goes to ground, full of terrific. Back to Raso. Raso's quick, brings it back to full forward. Bouncing ball, French has got hold. The handball didn't get over the top. Push forward, Walker's kicked another one. He's second.
They're playing like a side that's won more than 2 games.
Oh, you certainly are. I think we made mention of the fact earlier that they've been right in the last 6 or 7 games they've played, and they just haven't been rewarded with more wins than 1 or 2, but gee, they certainly looked the goods tonight. The pressure applied by the Collingwood forwards was tremendous. The block of the handball over the top from Gavin Brown really just opened it up for a slick handball to Sav Rocker, and he was very delighted. The great handball coming from Glenn Freeborn.
Well, it certainly is a confidence booster for the Magpies, and their fans have got plenty to shout about. I know the game is only about 23, 24 minutes old, but by gee, they've played some slick football so far. Bathiris from King wasted the football there, Rupert Bathiris, which is unlike him. He's been pretty good in his matches this year. Mark is taken there for Port Adelaide by Nathan Eagleton. He's deep between right wing and right half forward. Kick coming in from Wilson. Eagleton's kick to centre half forward.
That's a mark.
That's a good mark. Top effort by Chalmers. Up with the right and then pulled it in with the second grab at it. Onto the ground comes Jackatine for Collingwood. Krasiska is a dip. Thanks, Dipper. Brett Chalmers from 50 metres. He's a good kick of the football. This gets it right to the square. Treadray from behind. Burns concedes a rush behind to Port Adelaide. Damien Monkhorst, Frankie Raso, Gavin Krasiska having a spell on the bench. Close to quarter time. Scott Burns to kick in for the Magpies. Yes, they lead. They've kicked 5 goals straight. Adelaide have kicked 1 goal 4. And Burns comes to the members' side. Gets good distance and precision. Buckley, he is annihilating them. 9 kicks. He's kicked towards the wing. Mark Richardson should be paid and will be. We've got 2 minutes left. He's deep on centre wing. Umpire asking Mark Richardson to come back and kick over the man on the mark. He gets good distance. Lobs the ball at half foot. What a play again by Tarrant. Couldn't haul this one in. Bond is doing well. Tarrant applies the tackle. Away go the Port Adelaide side. Wilson wide to Stevens.
Then straightens up, kicks to centre wing. Treadray, good mark. They need a couple of goals here. They need to answer the challenge. Lyle gets it from Eagleton. The kick due first time he's touched it. He is a thumping kick around the corner. Bouncing, rolling the wrong way. Gee, it's hard to kick them like that, but they need a miracle at the moment because Collingwood are rolling along here. That leap of Tarrant, gee, he's an exciting player. He's hard to match up with, isn't he? Because he can come from anywhere. As Jason said earlier, he took off very early the first time and from a long, long way back. Now Lockyer to bring it in, 5 goals to 1-5. So Port Adelaide have had more scoring shots, but Collingwood really have outplayed them. Richardson's got it at half back. So he's impacted since coming onto the ground. Kicks the ball along the line to centre wing. Not a good kick. Treadray gets back. The handball to Brewer. Brewer wasn't expecting it. Gets it back. Was good enough to win it back. Brewer handballs to Nick Stevens. He loads up about 60 metres out. Have they got a high fly? Eagleton was the front spot. Chalmers off the ground. Well done. Clever goal, big fellow. He's been handy.
Gee, I tell you what about the change of roles there for the forwards? It's normally big man up, little man down. Nathan Eagleton was the one that went for the mark in the end. As we see him flying here with the 2 Collingwood players. And when the ball hit the deck, Chalmers he realised he didn't have time to pick it up. Didn't even kick it with his natural foot. He just threw the left toe out and just poked it through. That's really a desperately needed goal and one that really came from nothing.
It closes the scoreboard up suddenly, doesn't it? Now 5 goals to 2-5.
Actually, there's not a lot in the statistics, Bruce. There is a lopsided inside 50. Collingwood have been inside 50 15 times to Port Adelaide 9. But when you look at the other stats, they are very, very close together. So Port Adelaide getting their fair share of the football, and they'll go forward again. Braden Lyle, his kick. Prestigiacomo couldn't take the mark. Treadray,
good kick.
A high kick, and Eagleton's on the end of it. And if he kicks this goal, it'll only be 7 points the difference. and it'll be 8 scoring shots to 5 Port Adelaide's way.
Gee, it's not hard to imagine what sort of player Warren Treadray is going to develop into. I mean, he picked that up off his toes, and he's a tall player. I mean, he's got to be about 6'4", and then his vision. I mean, he didn't just throw it on the boot. He looked up, propped, screwed it around the corner, and found Nathan Eagleton making space 40 metres out directly in front.
And that's the player that we're talking about, Warren Treadray, 20 years of age, and if he stands up, plenty of AFL football for him to play. Eagleton, look, right in front of goal. Beautiful kick too. Magnificent kick. That's a goal. No doubt about that.
Probably just what the game needed too. I mean, the last thing you want to see is a blowout in the first quarter, and it looked like Collingwood really might run away, but Port Adelaide have answered strongly this last 5 minutes, putting on a couple of goals. We just see the pick up there under pressure from Treadray. Immediately looked up, looked for the best option. Maybe not the best kick you've ever seen come over there, but it found the target, and that's all that mattered.
Good finish too, wasn't it?
Tell you what, he ran very close to the bloke on the mark. He's already kicked into the man on the mark once.
As good as Buckley's been in this first quarter, I reckon Wanganeen hasn't been far behind him. He has been sensational in close quarters here and keeping Port Adelaide very much alive. Brewer couldn't get through.
First tackle let him clear, and he didn't get rid of the ball. What do you think, Jason?
Well, he ran a long way with it, didn't he? He might have had
word.
blokes hanging off him, but he still was running a long way.
Oh, you blokes are tough on players with the footy.
Richardson, Burgoyne, just doesn't want to give it away in a hurry. Pops it up. Late mark here would be important. Oh, big fly came at the back from Treadray off the ground from Wasley. So Collingwood take the points in the opening term, but Port Adelaide almost on the deck at one stage, came back very strongly indeed, and we've got a very good game of footy here. Lots of highlights in that opening term, a whole lot to talk about when we return. So quarter time, Saf's got a couple, Port have got 3, Collingwood have got 5. It's 30-23.
There's no doubt about these two coaches. They're pretty honest with their players, and Mark Green just told his forwards to make sure they work very hard in the forline to keep the ball in. He wasn't impressed in that first half of that quarter that they allowed the Collingwood backman just to get the ball out. And Tony Shaw, on the other hand, just said in the middle of the ground, you make sure you get those things called hard ball gets, because they were very good in the first quarter.
Good on you, Dipper. Maybe a free kick here.
Yeah, look, if there's contact to the head when his head's down, Rob, I'm comfortable with that. It admittedly didn't hurt him, but you can't wait till it hurts him.
James to Chalmers, who's been a focal point early. Krasiska's handball, good. Lockyer, Anthony Rock. I think it's the first time I've called him so far tonight. Kicks back into the heart of the centre square. Free kick to King, being held on to from Wilson. Wilson's had the job on King now.
Bathiris is broken early.
He's got him here. Bathiris very wide. The kick forced him a bit wider, so it slows it up a bit. Bathiris kicks to the centre half forward, almost up the full forward. Big fly there from Freeborn. Was a good effort, not quite. Wilson, little gift to Lyle. Lyle goes on. James, second kick in a minute as he's come onto the ground. Oh, terrific mark. Front spot there by French, but Lyle runs into him in the end. Back to Francis, normally the good kick. Lovely looking kick off the boot. Worked underneath it, Jew in the pocket. Boundary throwing. So Port Adelaide go forward. Who's on the bench for the Collingwood team?
Mark Richardson, Brent Tuckey, Craig Jacatine and Frankie Raso.
Thanks, Dipper.
Raso.
Good on your Dip. So right forward pocket. Port attacking. Remember, Collingwood led 5 goals to 1-5 with about a couple of minutes remaining in the opening term. Monkey lays it off. Burns back to Monkey under a bit of pressure. Gordon just couldn't really give it up because he looked up and saw Wilson staring him in the eye. So he held onto it a bit, sold a dummy, and it goes out of line. Now the Port Adelaide bench, Dipper.
Mark Harwood, Adam Kingsley with that Pat Stye, and Nathan Steinburner and Scotty Bassett.
Well, Kingsley, there's French, well done. Grabbed the ball out of the ruck contest. I was just going to say, Dipper, Kingsley doesn't look as though he's any possible chance to come back onto the field.
As I mentioned before, he won't be back on the field. They're afraid that his eye's got a scratch on it, and they're just taking precaution to having a patch on it to make sure the light keeps out of it, so we probably won't see anybody.
Fair enough. The boundary throw in left forward pocket for Port Adelaide. French doing the ruck work. Treadray in front. Chance there for Lyle. Couldn't get his kick away. Another opportunity slips off the side of his boot. French, the ball goes in towards full forward, taken by Rocker. Rocker's short kick is all right. And this is Lockyer with the football. He's still inside his defensive 50. Where's Buckley? Making position on centre wing. And nearly got it. Burns. Taken there by James. Handball down the line. Godden. Safely over for a boundary throw-in. Due. Nick Stevens. It's Friday night football at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
You mentioned Buckley there, Robbo. Interesting to see if he can continue on from his 10 possession first quarter effort. Shane Brewer now picking him up.
So the boundary throw-in, Monkhorst and French. Krasiska on French, trying to spin out of trouble. Burgoyne did pretty well. Lyles, quick kick towards full forward for Port Adelaide, punched away by Prestigiacomo. Crumbs are gathered by Eagleton. Snapshot at goal by Nathan Eagleton. He's hooked it a little bit too far and scored a behind. 1-1 to Eagleton. 2 goals against the name of Brett Chalmers. And for Collingwood, Sav Rocker has kicked a couple.
Important for Port that Eagleton's starting to get his hands on it a bit. He might be that 3-goal man they need from the forward pocket to go with a bag from Treadray or Chalmers for them to win. Buckley, he's got an appetite for the game, hasn't he? He just wants to be where the footy is all the time. A perfectionist. Oh, danger! Nick Stevens coming in on Lockyer. Nick Stevens front spot. Lockyer did well, rode him out of it. Then gets a handball away.
Pushed.
Well done. A free kick coming back. Is it to Lockyer?
Yeah, buried on disposal, Bruce. So the ball will come back, and Lockyer will take the free kick for pushing it back.
He's paid it downfield.
He's considered that it was after he'd handballed the ball, so the free kick will be taken where the handball landed, which is 4 or 5 metres further on from where Lockyer was pushed in the back initially.
Godden's got a thanks, John. Out wide. Running hard was Wosley and Marks. James Wosley at half-back. Got a couple of early touches when Collingwood streamed forward. Centre wing the kick. Tarrant front spot. Mead. He's got his hands full tonight. Francis. I think all centre half-backs have their hands full, no matter who you're playing on. And again, it'll be a ball up. We're seeing some generations of great young stars, aren't we? I mean, Tarrant, who's a bit behind Treadray, is on his way. And then that other group. Richardson all the way through to the King himself. Lade got a fist to it. King. Krasiska, big opening term. Out wide, Daniels and also Brown both keeping their eye on it. Bond. Free kick, I think, to Collingwood, is it?
Paid for holding. I certainly didn't see Gavin Brown held, but the signal...
Freeborn, I think it is, John, getting it.
Right, Freeborn taking it. Certainly didn't see him held, but that was the signal given. So obviously considered that it warranted a free kick.
You'd be looking for Chrissy Tarrant, wouldn't you?
For the big fly. Let's see what Freeborn does. He's a pretty good kick normally. Gee, that's long and strong. They'll be looking for the goals.
No one on the line.
He's got 2. That's a long ball. Lifestyle side of the ground. Kick one from this side, first quarter.
I reckon if a big boy got back and stood on the line, he nearly would have touched this, Jason. What do you reckon?
Well, you can just see the hand on the jumper there, so it's probably not a bad decision. And look, he's going to kick from fully 50 out at a pretty tight angle. I tell you what, it wasn't a bad sort of kick, but I mean, you've got to put pressure on a bloke having a shot for goal. You've got to be right on the mark and jump up high.
Well, having another look at that, it was well and truly over the heads of any player that would have been on the line there. So a terrific kick by Glenn Freeborn to register Collingwood's 6th goal. Free kick out of the ruck contest.
Yeah, push paid against Damien Monkhorst, and he's not happy about it at all.
Burgoyne runs away for Port Adelaide, kicks the ball directly towards goal. French taken away by Wosley. Hand pass, sets it up for Buckley. Left foot kick by Buckley to a one-on-one between Stevens and Lockyer. Taken by Bond, run down from behind by Freeborn and must be penalised.
You can't question their endeavour.
Did everything right, Bond, until he got caught with the ball.
Well, he was quite frustrated. I think he thought he was through, but Freeborn kicks Collingwood back into attack. Fuller at the fall of the ball. Still Fuller.
Yeah.
Umpires found a free kick. The advantage is with Port Adelaide. Wilson, his kick towards full forward. Knocked away from behind. Rocker, that's Anthony. His kick will set it up nicely here for Lane. The ball bounces eventually for Tyson Lane. Short kick is good. Michael can run on, shares the football with Bathiris. Bathiris will go for goal. Long kick by Rip Bathiris. High flyer Tarrant. He is an exciting young player, this boy. Now go back and maybe try a check side kick and kick a goal.
You'd expect him just to take his time, and when he's ready, run out to his right and just hook it over the shoulder. It seems to be the percentage shot from this sort of angle.
Well, being a left footer, he's going to try the check side and he hits the post. 1 goal, 1 against his name.
He's a real worry for me at the moment, isn't he?
It's exciting to watch.
Darren's not too sure how to play him. He took off early a moment ago, Mead. Francis to kick it in, 6-1 to 3-6.
Fabian Francis, 37, plays 24, 13 points the margin. Port Adelaide have had 9 scoring shots to 7, but they trail on the scoreboard. Moncourse creates a contest. Tarrant is in underneath there. Mead trying to effect a tackle. Brown, Krasiska back to Buckley. Some old stages there. Buckley into the pocket, too high for Fuller. Francis able to punch it away. Full of the ball is Burgoyne. Bond and Wanganeen. His hand pass is a little astray, but Mead is able to gather the ball. The people out there in the southern stand probably thought it was out of bounds. Dew's hand pass. Eagleton goes back to Dew. Dew in towards the centre of the ground. Wilson, a high kick by Michael Wilson to centre half forward. At the back, very well gathered by Prestigiacomo. He is growing in stature with every game. Kick into the middle of the ground. Buckley, contest very good. He and Brewer. Brewer's hand pass. Releases Treadray. Treadray holds it, then wide to Paxman. Paxman. By gee, this is a rare goal by Stephen Paxman.
Well, if you wonder why Stephen Paxman's getting so excited, he's coming from fullback to kick that one. He brought Sav Rocker all the way up to centre half forward for the Port Adelaide position earlier for a contest, and he actually stayed around while Sav made his way back. It's not a bad finish, is it?
It's a good kick. He was never going to miss, was it?
Good work from Treadray, just held up the handball.
He's happy. It's his first goal for the season. 21st goal in his career.
Get back to fullback where you belong.
Exactly. How does it fall forward?
Oh, there's no place to hide when your opponent kicks a goal. I've had a few kicked.
Well, Sav leads 2-1 at the moment. Let's hope he's in front from Collingwood's point of view at the end of the match. Buckley, well, he's getting a bit of it, isn't he? To Lockyer. Lockyer quickly on to the pocket. Mark taken there by Freeborn, who is having a terrific duel with Bond. I mean, Bond's done some spectacular things, but the bottom line is that Freeborn's kicked 2, and if he kicks the ball like he did 5 minutes ago, he'll kick a third. Kicked 3 goals in 1 quarter in a grand final against the Swans in 1996, didn't he?
Yep.
That second term when he really had a big match.
Given Collingwood something this year with playing in every match.
Well, let's see if he can load it up and kick another one. This will be a terrific contribution to half-time if he does. We must fancy himself from here. It's off to the right, or left rather, a little hook, but it was a good long kick.
It's got pretty good penetration. I mean, he's kicking the ball 55, 60 metres with a drop punt.
Pretty still night down here, Jason, so the conditions allow to kick that distance tonight.
Dipper down there, 6-2 to 4-6. It's a close, tight game. An entertaining match. Hope you're enjoying it around the 7 network, wherever you might be. Going live into Adelaide through SAS this game tonight. Francis's wide kick to halfback, Brewer, Stevens, a handball over the top. Okay, Wilson becoming important to Burgoyne. This is a good build-up. Burgoyne takes his man on, runs a long way, then kicks to the pocket. Chalmers ran hard. Well done though by the Maggies. He's gone. Gee,
That's quick.
is that Prestigiacomo?
That was
I think.
Well,
Wosley, I think, Bruce.
Wosley, sorry, Robbo, you're right, Wosley.
I think he had one chance there.
Yeah, he did.
Right, then he ducked back and got
tucked it
tackled.
under the arm. He tucked it under the arm and he ran. I'm happy with that decision.
You would have squealed like a stuck pig if I'd paid that one against you, Chase.
Of course I would have. Umpires are never
Hey,
right.
this is getting good, Johnny. By round 22. We'll be having some fun up here.
Roger James's kick. Here's our behind. Collingwood fans say that's all that deserved, or you make up your own mind. Hard job being an umpire, I reckon.
Jason's going to be fantastic at it.
Well, if he's as good as he was as a full forward, he'll win the golden whistle for about 10 years straight.
Good strong kick in. Look for Buckley. Knocked away by Brewer, and Eagleton got it back to Brewer. Brewer's kicked to the front of the square. Gee, that was a big leap by Anthony Rocker. Got a left fist to it and knocked it clear for a rush behind to Port Adelaide. We'll have another look. We just saw Adam Kingsley on the interchange bench. Watch here. You just can't quite see the end result because the umpire got in the road.
Robbo, the interesting thing about that is that's the second injury to the eye as a result of a player wearing a glove in the last 3 weeks. So there could well be an issue there because, from what I can gather, the Velcro can be quite sharp and abrasive.
Fair enough. Well, King it was that marked the ball, and that's a terrific mark again. Tarrant. And he's now taken 3 marks. Make that 4. Tyson Lane into Krasiska. He had a sensational start to the game. Kicks in towards full forward. At the back there was Freeborn. Save Rocker! Can't get the ball away.
Too long.
Well, was it too long or an illegal passing of the ball?
Well, it's the same signal, so it's difficult to determine what the umpires paid it for, but it certainly appeared as though he paid it for Sav just taking too long after he was tackled.
Wide to Eagleton. Gee, it was good play, wasn't it? Was that Treadray again?
Yes.
Wilson. Lockyer. Intelligent. Tried to get it to Michael. Wosley kicks the ball towards centre half forward. No mark to Sav. At the back, Gavin Brown taps it on. Bathiris intelligently to the goal front. Down there is Freeborn. He's been interfered with. He still gets the hand pass away. Gee, a little toe poke. Doesn't quite go far enough. Gavin Brown's dumped into the ground. Still a chance. Freeborn for the Magpies. It's still there for Collingwood. King, Buckley, he's tackled. Ball goes back to the square and Wanganeen will clear for Port Adelaide.
Terrific stuff. Exciting, wasn't it? Wanganeen holds it up and gives it to Eagleton. Tarrant might have just been winded there.
Gavin Brown probably a bit unlucky, but the umpire was behind the tackler, so certainly wouldn't have been able to see that he was clearly pushed in the back.
I've got to say, from where I was sitting, John, I was pleased he let it go. Stevens, it was just terrific stuff. There's Tarrant in the box. Stevens over the top to Jew. Jew's handball's not good enough. The tackle was the one that held him up. And Freeborn is getting a lot of it. Goes short to Wosley. Wosley's high ball to centre half forward. Big fly from Tarrant. Wanganeen juggling out with King. Laid out of the air. Belts it back into the centre. Terrific contest here. Eagleton can't break the tackle. He threw it in the air.
Great, fantastic tackle.
Just locked the one arm up and he couldn't handle it.
Burns was great, wasn't he? I guess he had no option in the end. Bathiris, Krasiska called the play on, belts it away. Paxman goes back to Lade. Lade's kick out wide's a beauty. Lyle has got it at half back. This is good stuff. Between the 2 half back flanks, Treadray couldn't quite hold the mark that time. Gets rid of Michael. Still with Treadray. Left foot neat enough. To the pocket. Chalmers tries to work Prestige Como out of it. Burns, who put the tackle on a moment ago. Left foot across the ground to Godden. Godden at centre half back.
Godden's got a chance to move the ball out wider still. Wosley, who's had a fair bit of the football. Wosley coming up for kick number 8. Goes down towards the wing where Brown is marked. Back to Wosley. Wosley running through the lines. Kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Marking contest. Punched away from Lade. Hits the ground. Tarrant. He's a left footer. He's tackled. Back to Buckley. This is a goal, isn't it? Nugget down Nathan! You're a beauty! Don't worry about Nathan Buckley. He's a star.
Well, the last 5 minutes of this game has been absolutely hectic. The ball's been flying around, plenty of pressure. He's had 16 possessions, Buckley, and he's on Shane Brewer this quarter. He doesn't look like he's going to slow up. He's been very lively up forward. Tarrant, he shot the handball away. Look how he just composed himself. He had a quick look. He settled off 2 paces. He drilled it through. He didn't stab at it. This is the way to finish off a very quick opportunity for goal.
Terrific goal. An important goal in the context of a very competitive first half here.
Sam Rocker off the ground, boys, and Brent Tuck is now playing full forward. Also, young Rasso's on as well.
Thanks, Dipper. So Collingwood get out to a couple of goal lead. Brewer, who's got his hands full. Jason's already got 3 alongside Buckley's name, I reckon. Jeez,
Don't start on me this early, will you?
You're under the pump, Jason.
He's had a bit of a quarter and a half, hasn't he? There's Sav, so nothing wrong there. Kick 2 in the first quarter. It's been held up a bit in the second term, trying to change the balance maybe and give the kid a chance, Tucky. 12-point game. Stevens probably should have taken control, gets it back to Burgoyne, to Brewer, to Wanganeen. Wanganeen will stretch this. He'll go as far as he can. Straightens the body, kicks the ball forward. Can anyone touch it? It's a goal. One captain, then the next. It's a good game of footy, this one.
Doesn't the cream rise to the top? They've overused the handball a little bit a couple of times this quarter, Port Adelaide, but that time, once they found Wanganeen with a little bit of space, he just pinned his ears back and went. But I'll tell you what, have a look at the chase from Nathan Buckley. I'll tell you right now, he was running a 10-second 100 when he really put in, and he was making ground. This is, all stops have been pulled out for this contest.
Well, inspirational stuff for them from the respective captains. Nathan Buckley kicked the last Collingwood goal, and Gavin Wanganeen has kicked the goal for Port Adelaide. Buckley again, he's just knocking up. Left foot kick to half forward, well gathered by King. Beautifully gathered by Clinton King. To full forward, mark is taken by Mead. 6 points is the advantage to Collingwood. Mead goes across the half-back line. From behind, Lyle couldn't take the mark. Run down was Burgoyne. Was allowed the advantage there and got the hand pass away to Lyle. Lyle to half-forward, Michael. A big fist on it. Gathered here by James. James for Port Adelaide. Kicks into the pocket. Very good. And has he marked it? I think it's been paid to Brendan Lade.
Took a long time to think about it.
Brendan Lade for Port Adelaide. He's 50 metres from goal. And we'll have another look at this marking effort.
Didn't go on.
Right at the end it did. Wilson strolls in. Shot for goal across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Should have got a little more out of that, Port Adelaide. Michael Wilson, a natural left footer, missed everything, much to the disgust of the coach, Mark Williams. This is Frankie Rasso. He started on the bench and has been there for a fair part of this match. Bathiris, back to Rasso. Rasso, the kick smothered off the boot. Always a chance for that to happen. Eagleton, in under there's the Sherrin, and the umpire will call for a bounce.
I think the key error that Rasso made there is if you're unsure, you go long. If there's any uncertainty about kicking short, well then you just completely remove it by kicking long to a tall option.
Rocker coming on for Tucky, so that move only about 5 minutes. Michael on the up, okay. Birds was probably just behind him. Good tackle there by James. He's been good in this term. High tackle on Gordon, surely. Free kick. Nothing in this match. Gordon, centre half back.
He didn't monkey out in the wing. The crowd saw it before anyone else did.
Monkey's the kick. Stevens just put enough pressure on him. Monkhouse pressures Yakomo back to Monkey. Stevens clever enough. And he ran it out, Stevens. He had Eagleton on his own. Monkey disappointed there. Missed the mark. Then it was sloppy from that moment on. Now he's got to do the ruck work. They carried him from the ground at Waverley last week. He'd love another victory here tonight. French and Monkhorst. Brewer, King. Still with King. Squeezes one to centre wing. Daniel stood his ground well on Brown. A little bit taller and took the mark. Stephen Daniels between half-back and centre wing. Steady type of player. Unobtrusive. Kicks the ball down the line. Tread rage. He's a player, this fellow. He can impose himself. Gets it to Stephen. Stephen's kick was shabby. Just half forward. Wilson good. James has been very good. Gets it to Bond. Bond loads it up. Bond's kick is a beauty. It's a goal. Scores a level.
I'll tell you what, there's a bit of skill in this game at the moment. There are a lot of players out there that are exceptionally talented. I mean, the skills, the ball skills, hand and foot, are unbelievable, particularly in the greasy conditions. I mean, there was a few showers earlier. It's a very dewy night, but are they finishing off in great fashion? Bond, well, gee, every reason to be excited by that finish. A couple of slick handballs just releasing him, and he picked the angle beautifully.
So Port Adelaide level the scores with 4 minutes left in the second term. They've kicked 3-3 to Collingwood's 2-2 so far in this second term. Moncourse, Buckley again. We just better get a recording there, I think, and replay it, because he's done that a lot. Kicked away by Daniels. Daniels kicked to half forward. That's a mark to Chalmers, who's about fourth in line.
You can have a shot. There's no one at home.
No one there, so Brett Chalmers will load up. By gee, he's done well. He's kicked it right to the line, Michael.
He's got a free kick. He's paid it.
You're kidding.
Yeah, free kick paid for holding in that marking contest. Ball still in flight, and certainly appeared as though Mel Michael just drags him to the ground, and down he goes, and 50-metre penalty to follow it, so the kick will be taken from the centre of the goal line from straight in front.
Well, you just mark it down, don't you? It's a goal to Warren Treadray. So Port Adelaide, close to half-time, will lead.
And I'll tell you what, after that 50-metre penalty had been given, Nathan Buckley grabbed Anthony Rocker and dragged him aside and had a word to him. I'm not quite sure what it was all about, but he didn't look too pleased, Nathan.
Would you take the free kick, John?
Well,
would
I
you
think.
take it?
Well, no, I don't. I mean, he doesn't really do a lot, does he? Mel Michael's just
With a jumper pulling.
Yeah, there's a little bit of jumper ballooning, but those momentary grabs are often let go. But you can see Scotty McLaren signals, and Burnsy's. It really isn't. I mean, Bucks has shown a lot of leadership there, because okay, it may or may not have been right, but Anthony Rocker just has to get out of it.
Port in front. Gee, it's been a long time since Port Adelaide have been in front tonight. 2-minute mark of the first quarter was the last time. They're having a bit of a roll. They finished the first quarter off well. Burgoyne ridden into the ground. Burns around his body. Kicks it wide. They're hungry for it at the moment. Wilson kept his eye on it. Francis. Collingwood need one. Matthias. Gee whiz. If that's a free kick, I will go home. That is a shocker. Matthias has kicked the centre half forward. Marked by Lane. Lane's little one is good to Chris Siska, who can kick a goal. He can kick this.
And it's all from a questionable free kick, Bruce.
Yeah.
You know,
It's.
gee, you wonder, really, honestly.
Robbo, the signal given is for a high tackle, so you see the tackle laid, and
He's
there
got
really,
the head ducked,
there
and
really is
sitting over the
absolutely
ball.
nothing in that. So certainly an unwarranted free kick, and Fabian Francis is just astonished that it's been paid. Players have to be given the opportunity to contest, and that's all he was doing.
Let's see if Chris Siska can kick the goal to level the scores. He's a beautiful kick. This is where Eagleton kicked his left foot goal from in the first quarter. He's been a terrific servant of Collingwood. Played a lot of his footy with Gavin Brown, and he's kicked it badly. He has missed, so there's some irony here. Collingwood so clean early in the match, and now suddenly Port Adelaide look a bit cleaner when they go forward. 7-8 plays 7-3.
Gee, wound that up, Jason, didn't he? The football went all over the place, didn't it? And stretching for distance. The kick-in was taken by Paxman. He in turn to Braden Lyle. Lyle in towards the centre. Contest here. Collingwood will go forward. Buckley to gather. Can't quite find Bathiris. Burgoyne lifted behind. Chance for Brewer. Oh, but Wanganeen's ball handling was beautiful. Eagleton in turn to Stevens. Stevens coming up for possession number 14. Goes for goal, Nick Stevens, and kicks her behind.
I'll tell you what, he showed a yard of pace too, Nick Stevens. I mean, he was facing the wrong direction, and there were a lot of people chasing him at full pace, and he just turned around and put the foot to the gas, and did he go?
Chris Siska off the ground once again, so is that maybe a ploy to conserve a bit of energy in the older players on the list?
I think it is, because he was very good in the first quarter and the same thing happened. I think they're just giving him a spell.
Burns accepts the kick in and then goes long. Looking down on centre wing for Tucky. He can't quite take the ball. That's Fuller actually, and the ball spilling along the line over for a boundary throw in between wing and right half forward. Tony Shaw live. That'll be terrific because there's been a lot said about Tony Shaw over the last couple of weeks since he announced that he will no longer coach the Magpies after round 22. They're a chance to go forward again. Lane squeezes a kick towards full forward. It clears the players back there. Francis left it behind. In goes Mead. He's well tackled by Tarrant. Got the hand pass away. The umpire gave Darren Mead the benefit of the doubt there and will bounce about 30 metres from the Collingwood goal. Port Adelaide lead by 6 points. 7-9 to 7-3. Just a minute and a half left in the first half. It's been quite entertaining football. Well done by Rocker. Tarrant receiving from Fuller, and Tarrant, he's very skillful. He's kicked the goal. Second goal to Chris Tarrant. Very close to the half-time. Long break here at the cricket ground. We'll have another look at this.
And when the quick handball comes out, very prudent that it should come out to a left footer on that angle, and he just quickly straightened, took his time. He knew he had a little bit of space and threaded it through beautifully.
Interesting, he straightened there. A lot of people would kick around the body, wouldn't they?
Yep. Showed a cool head, very cool head.
Sav good there.
It was a very good piece of ruck work on the forward line.
All square with about a minute and a half to go before half-time. Burgoyne getting a bit of it. Stevens. Still Stevens. Very well played in the end to Lyle. Lyle's got Wanganeen outside of him. Decides to go hard himself. Good kick towards the pocket. Lade's got it.
I'll tell you what, a great bit of play there from Lyle. I mean, you must have something in mind when you burn your skipper who's hot. He's running outside him on the left. We've just seen him kick a terrific goal a couple of minutes ago, but he was looking, I guess, more direct, and the good lead from Lade, the good pass, and you'd probably expect him to just about kick it 45 metres out on a slight angle.
Struggling for goals this year, Lade. Slightly different role, admittedly. That's from the far end. You got 3 in round 2 against Fremantle. Kicks from 50. It's a good kick. Gee, that's a very strong kick. There must be a magnet down that end of the ground. You can't miss Collingwood in the first quarter, and now Port Adelaide are kicking them from everywhere. Terrific goal just before half-time, wasn't it?
Oh, look, it certainly has been an exciting match so far. The great pass coming in from Braden Lyle and Brendan Lade. Sure hands and sure feet. It is a very good kick. Great penetration on that. That's carried a good 5 or 10 metres through the goals.
Port Adelaide still going at the same rate that you quoted before the game, Jason. 157 goals, 163 behinds. It's similar now, isn't it? 8 goals, 9. If they could kick it with a little bit more accuracy, by gee, the scoreboard would look entirely different, I'm sure. Tarrant to Clinton King. Handball to Lane. Tyson Lane. Oh, that's a very good kick.
It certainly was a brilliant finish from Tyson Lane. When Clinton King stormed down the corridor, you should have seen the tackle that came from Gavin Wanganeen. It was almost like a rugby league tackle. He just cut him off at the hips, but King was good enough to shoot the handball out. Look at him streaming in here. He showed it, and that's a magnificent tackle, but he still affected a very good handball. And Tyson Lane, he's been in great form the last couple of weeks, finished beautifully.
Goal for goal. Terrific quarter of footy. Great half here. Commitment from every player out there. You can feel it, can't you?
Oh, you couldn't ask for a better match so far.
Well, Port played a ripper against the Kangaroos here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And Collingwood themselves have been involved in some great games, including one against the Crows a fortnight back. So both teams can turn it on, and they are for us tonight. National television audience. Reasonable crowd build up here. Stakes are high, particularly for the Power. And at half-time, it's all going to be square. Terrific game to half-time. I reckon Tony Shaw gritted his teeth when I talked about incentive, didn't he? He said, how dare you? I mean, the impertinence of it all. A Collingwood bloke not trying as hard as a Port Adelaide bloke. Come off it. 9-3 to 8-9. That's the spirit this game has been played in. Terrific game to half-time. Wanganeen stole it and then straightens up and kicks to centre half forward. Front spot, Presti Giacomo. Behind him, Chalmers. Then he squeezes the little one out, Simon, and he finds Godden at half-back. He pushes to King, who runs hard and takes the mark.
Presti Giacomo good in that he fell over and got up very quickly and helped Burns at half-back.
When I'm in trouble with him, I'm going to go for Simon. I don't want to say it in a hurry.
Presti would be a good go, Bruce, I think.
Buckley and Brewer.
Oh, look at the kick. Oh,
Wanganeen was able to get a finger on it. Anthony Rocker may be pushed forward here by the look of it. Raso under pressure. Mead got involved, and it's a boundary throw-in.
Adam Kingsley, Bruce, the eye is getting better, and we can expect him to be on the ground in this second half if required, and on the benches for Adelaide. Mark Harwood, Kingsley, Steinburner and Bassett.
Thanks, Dipper. Lade did well. Stevens has been a very impressive player. That's floating Burns, and he's taken the mark.
16 possessions to Nick Stevens.
Burns, Jason asked about whether he'd be pushed forward. Monkey's got it. He wanted to give it off. He's looking. He does now. Buckley kicks hard and long. Tarrant, well done by Paxman. Fuller, great tackle by Mead. Rocker couldn't get an effective handball away. Bond's back turn was okay. Stevens, clever little toe poke. Wanganeen, competition was great. Handball going back there by Freeborn. Missing targets. Good pressure coming. Buckley takes it all by himself on the end. Centering kicks a good one to centre half forward. Mead, it slipped through his fingers. Laid to mop up. Boots to a paddock. Wants the boundary line.
I'll tell you what, if it doesn't sit up, they'll be in trouble, Port Adelaide. It's still in the field of play. You wouldn't believe it. They would have been wishing, but it was gathered by Lockyer, and he's found Freeborn. Just centimetres in that as well. Freeborn goes into Lane. Lane kicks. The Rocker boys are both on the forward line, Anthony and Sav, but the mark is taken back there by Daniels. Kick wide, Laid up against the boundary line, goes for, and this time he would be relieved. He has found the safety of the boundary line right where the interchange area is, and that is the Collingwood interchange bench dip.
Wesley, Tucky, Krasiska and Raso, and we got both Rocket boys, as you mentioned, up the forward line with Anthony playing centre half forward.
King gets the ball wide. In trouble there was Bathiris, Lockyer, then Mark Richardson to Godden, to Lockyer, to Bathiris, left it behind, struggle now. Wanganeen didn't leave it behind, did he? Oh, the rubber man, he is a beauty too. Wanganeen's kicked to half forward. Treadray couldn't take the mark. Mark Richardson sees it over the boundary line, and Peter Burgoyne is in trouble. He has the assistance of the training staff behind play.
Half forward right. Port Adelaide attack. Gee, James got in the road of Richardson. Eagleton in trouble. Handball not very good. He's pinged, I think, for throwing.
No, he's pinged for being slung after disposal.
Sorry, Jew. I missed
poor
it.
kick from Jew.
Yeah, this is a day kick.
I think it was probably closer to what you said, but it would have been justified, Chris.
Burns gets it from Michael. Down the ground. Bad play here by Port Adelaide. James been spoken to. So some sloppy football by Port Adelaide here. Monkey's kicking to the centre. Godden's got it. Godden turns around, kicks a good one to Tarrant. Chases hard, marks. He's got players everywhere if he looks up.
Go to Lane. Go to Lane.
Well, Lane can't believe it. On his own in the pocket, and Tarrant now must load up and go for it. And kicks it very, very well. I think it's a touch of the line.
Wasn't a bad sort of effort from 55. He unloaded. Although Tyson Lane's probably every right to be a little bit upset that he didn't get the quick kick first off, and he would have had a shot from a reasonably tight angle, but about 40 metres out.
There's a blood rule being called on Monkhurst, I think, boys.
So Monkey coming, Burns, I think.
Scotty Burns.
Scotty Burns coming off. Gee, James coming in pretty hard there and high and collecting him. So Burns off the ground. Some sloppy play. Jew's kick wasn't good enough, was it, going forward for Port Adelaide? And Burgoyne, we saw a moment ago getting injured, running in hard. And I think he winded himself in the rib area. And Burns, they'll patch that up in a hurry. So Francis to bring it back on. Steinburner coming on and Wasley coming on for Collingwood.
And the rain's still coming on as well, boys, so it's starting to get a bit misty again.
Braden Lyle having a spell for Port Adelaide as well.
So the rain just falling here for the moment.
We've got everything, haven't we?
Yes, it's all happening, Dip. You can keep up with those interchange bench moves. The kick in, well marked by Stevens. He's been very good. Plays on quickly, bouncing up after taking the mark. Mark Richardson couldn't take it. Barnaby French, Giacomo, Presta Giacomo that is. James forces the ball over for a boundary throw in, and Kingsley has appeared once again and is warming the bench. So pretty good signs there for Adam Kingsley, I think, with a bandage over his left eye since he came off the ground for the entire first half. Certainly looked a big worry. Burgoyne, well tackled there by King, gathered by Michael, Shrug.
High tackle, Robbo.
And will receive the free kick for a high tackle.
Savrocker coming off and Scotty Burns going back on for the Maggies.
Michael across the ground, Fuller as marked.
A big monkey all on his own.
The kick has got to be good. Not bad off the left by young Fuller. Monkhorst, could he tap it to the advantage of his teammate, which was Godden? He's tackled, got the hand pass away. Eagleton, Fuller, nearly robbed by Wilson. Francis takes it over, and it'll be thrown in right half forward for Port Adelaide. Rain just becoming a little heavier as we see Luke Godden. I think he was really advantaged there by the umpiring decision, John.
Yeah, well, he's coming off for the blood rule now. He's obviously, as we can see, bleeding from the nose. So Luke Godden taking a spell.
Scotty Burns, who came off with the last blood rule, has gone back on, and he's headed forward, which is the first time we've seen him do that tonight. He he's played the first half down back. All of a sudden he's matched up on Paxman, but well, he's got the arm wave from the runner, and all of a sudden he's heading back towards the pack now.
Jacatine on the ground at the expense of Godden.
Probably pretty dirty, Scotty Burns. He thought, I've got a chance to kick a goal here, and it didn't last long.
Boundary umpire to throw it in right half forward for Port Adelaide, taken by Bond. Good quick kick across his body, gets terrific distance, puts the Magpie defence, that's the Collingwood defence, under pressure. Oh, terrific kick by Dew. Just didn't quite get the curl on the ball as it bounced towards goal, and scores a behind. So scores level once again, Port Adelaide 58, Collingwood 58.
It wasn't a bad effort. It was certainly coming around, just not quickly enough.
A couple of behinds kicked in this match by Stuart Dew. He'll be hoping for a couple of second half goals if Port Adelaide are to win this game. You can see now the rain has become quite heavy, and it'll make conditions just a little bit more difficult. Lade at the back is Chalmers. Little kick by Chalmers is all right. Wanganeen is marked forward of the centre. Scores level early in the third term. Difficult conditions now. Wanganeen's attempted long kick slews off the side and punched away by Tyson Lane, and he's pinned him. Oh,
You've got to be kidding.
You've got to be kidding me too.
What's the difference of going for a touch by a kick and hit the ball like that? Come on.
Yeah, well, I suppose if we really want to be serious about it, there's no doubt at all that what Tyson Lane was trying to do was punch it over the line, but so often when the player is that far away from the boundary line, given that the ball's irregular in shape and given that he used a clenched fist, we give him the benefit of the doubt, but not the case, deemed to be deliberate.
Treadray.
It'd be a miracle kick from there if he actually slotted it through.
Well, he'd be half a chance. He could kick the ball a long distance. He's kicked a goal. No, right on the line. Didn't quite get the distance. Presta Giacomo. Big punch through for a rush behind to Port Adelaide.
It'll be interesting to see if both four lines change now with the conditions coming down. Because, as Jason mentioned, the Port Adelaide certainly got a very tall forward line, and we saw Savrocker come off of Magpies.
Thanks to Buckley at halfback. Pushes wide to Burns. Are going to be so important, as they always are for Collingwood. Burns at halfback. Pops it up. Tarrant the target. Daniels behind him. Ball comes to ground. Well done, Lade, to trap it in. Did very well, actually, to Burgoyne. Touches it down. Now Bond almost got in his road. Burgoyne's kick. Harwood's come onto the ground very fresh. Well taken to Wanganeen, becoming so important. A bounce, a second. He'll go all the way. You reckon he'll kick it? A fourth. He goes for it now. Terrible kick, really. Underarm. That's a goal. It's a goal to James. It's a goal.
You know, I reckon Gavin Wanganeen took one bounce too many. He really put himself under pressure with his final bounce. He's a little bit disappointed there. He's pretty upset with himself. But I don't think...
Jace, he actually rushed the last bounce. He certainly didn't run the full distance.
He took that one too many because the opposition was coming in from the side, and when he actually kicked it, he didn't have time to look up and see that a man was on the line, and he stabbed it low. Good goal to James, though.
Oh, gee whiz, he'd been paid a goal, Roger James, but thought it might have come off his shin.
No, he had a second crack, Rob. That was a goal.
The shin's all right, Johnny, isn't it?
The shin's all right.
Is it?
He actually kicked it off. He kicked it off his boot in the end.
Well, Nick Stevens is doing a pretty good job around the midfield for Port Adelaide. 19 possessions. Kick forward by Steinberner. Lade couldn't take the mark. Prestigiacomo. Wasley out very wide. Steinberner couldn't take the mark. Kicks it off the ground, putting the pressure back on the Collingwood defence. James again. Long shot at goal by Roger James. Michael couldn't take the mark. A behind scored for Port Adelaide.
He's had a bit of it since he's come on, Roger James. He's looked very lively, not just around goal, but a little bit up the field as well. He knows how to get it. That's 11 possessions.
Have a look at this, Robbo.
It hits his shin there.
Now he kicks it there.
But even the first one's okay, Johnny Russell.
Yeah, the first one's okay. The last one came off the bottom of the boot, so that's certainly okay.
Good. Cisco on now, Marcus Stoff.
Cisco on for Monkey. Thanks, sir. One veteran replaces another. Good mark, Lockyer front spot. Gee, conditions have become tough. You reckon goals are going to be hard to get here? Lockyer's kicks a beauty to Lane. Can stream through the centre. Keeps it low. Neat kick to Brown. Always a tough ball. Bond did very well. Was run down by Freeborn. Got the handball outside 50. Fuller goes back to King. King to Burns. Burns tucked away in the pocket. He's in trouble. Back to Fuller was good. Fuller's check side kick is a beauty. No, it's a behind. He gave it a ride. It was a good build up under pressure. Fuller, who came onto the ground and instantly impacted when he took that mark and got it for this monkey sitting it out. Braden Lyle's the interesting one at the moment on the interchange for Port. They've got Kingsley, Lyle. Kingsley we know is injured, but you'd reckon that if Kingsley was able to come back, you'd get him back. And Lyle, in these sort of conditions, you'd think it'd be handy. Anyway, Bond's got it in the back pocket. 9-12 to 9-5. Critical time in the match. Port asserting themselves here, and Collingwood having to hang on hard. Stevens, no one winning the footy. Good deft touch by Burgoyne to Wanganeen to Mead. Mead belts it down to centre wing. Hard to mark there. Came off Chalmers. Brewer couldn't control it. Buckley's going to find it harder to get those 15 or 16 kicks in these conditions. Back to Burgoyne. Burgoyne worried out of it. Buckley, terrific stuff to Kosiska. Belts it onto his boot. Like Bond's game, even though Freeborn got touches early. Wanganeen, wonderful stuff again to Wilson. Belts it up high to centre wing.
Wilson, Mark Richardson underneath it. Eagledon quickly, but couldn't clear the congestion towards half forward. Godden, well done. Hand pass a little too fierce. By gee, the attack on the footy by Bathiris was deemed as illegal, I think.
Yeah, high contact considered to be the result of that attack on the footy, Robbo, so the free kick given away.
So it's James again, the recipient of the free kick, and it is against that attack on the footy by Bathiris.
Bit stiff.
Yeah, very
stiff. The bloke slid into him.
Yep.
James kicks the ball towards full forward. Mark Richardson. Dew is there, but he's confronted by Godden. And with the football, he's over.
Yeah, as you said, Jace, I mean, if the player causes or contributes to it, as we've said last week, then the free kick shouldn't be given.
Tough for the umpires on the spot to make that judgment.
Yep.
7 points to margin in favour of Port Adelaide, halfway through the third term. Kicked away by Lockyer. Lobs the ball close to the wing, but Freeborn tagged there by Burgoyne and one of his teammates, Fuller, for Collingwood. Little toe poke. Well done, James again. Bathiris left it behind. Flipped it out the back. Chance there for Brewer. He gets the ball in the path of Francis. They're just forcing it forward. Now it's gathered by Lockyer, but the umpire's found a free kick.
High contact was there. Yeah.
Darren Mead.
You know, that's pretty crude. I mean, many would say that he was going for the footy, but in my opinion, it probably wasn't really directed at the footy. It was.
Actually, I thought his fist punched the ball away.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. We see another angle here, and paid for high contact then. So make up your own mind whether Darren Mead deserves it.
So if he punches the ball, and after punching the ball, the arm continues on and collects the head, is that still a free kick?
If it's incidental, if it's incidental contact as a result of making contact with the ball, then they're told not to pay the free kick.
So I reckon he was going the ball then.
Yeah.
Well, Darren Mead has the free kick, and
Missed it.
I think he's just missed. He's kicked it behind, and Port Adelaide could have done with that. You would think goals are going to be fairly scarce in the remaining part of this game. It rained quite heavily for about 3 or 4 minutes just a minute or so ago, and it's going to be very difficult. Buckley kicks in, goes straight down the ground. Top effort. Mark taken by Treadray. He made it look like a dry ball.
Buckley probably made a mistake there. He doesn't make too many. He had 3 or 4 loose players. Treadray was the one bloke not to kick it near, wasn't he?
Just looking for the long option rather than the short one, but in the end, better off taking the safe short one.
Talked about Port's inaccuracy at the start of this match. They've kicked 9-13. Treadray couldn't possibly, could he? No, it'll fall about 15 metres short. And a fly coming from Richardson, and also Preston Jacomo, and Richardson takes the ball.
50-metre penalty. No, not paid. Half paid.
Goes wide. Michael on his knees takes the mark in the back pocket. Now he was off then, I think.
Yeah, it's called.
He's going to have to go now. He was clever though. Be disappointed there, Steinburner, and Michael gets it almost to centre wing with a high ball. Freeborn and Bond. Stevens has had a very good game. Lockyer's been pretty good too. Stevens doesn't take control. Works it back to Burgoyne. He's very clever, Burgoyne. Handball over the top. Freeborn and Bond. Well read. Taken there by Bond. Bond's high ball to half forward. Chalmers caught underneath it. Harwood getting involved with Preston Jacomo and also Richardson. And a boundary throw in. Conditions are really tough now. And any sort of a break, there's Rocker. Probably not the night for him now. Tucky's sitting it out, but any sort of a break, you can almost double it, I reckon. 8 points is probably worth about 16. Wanganeen, who would relish these conditions.
Was that not deliberate? He had no intention of keeping the ball
But
in.
he was clever enough to go right down the line instead of straight out, Robbo. He's going in play.
You've got to be kidding.
I agree with you, Robbo. I mean,
We all know what their intention is, but at least you've got to disguise it like he did then.
It wasn't a very good disguise.
Treadray over the back, boundary throwing.
I mean, the only other option is to go back over his head, but you can't do that.
But the fact that he has no other option doesn't mean that deliberate out of bounds is excusable.
Okay, so what does he do?
Well, he can't put the ball deliberately out of bounds.
He can't stop. He's running at full pace. What does he do?
But he didn't run it over. He handballed it over.
But he was running in that direction.
Bruce, do you want to umpire this?
Hey, Robbo, you're with me.
I've got to say, if he'd played that against Wanganeen, I would have been astonished. I reckon the right decision was a throw-in.
Oh dear me.
But
I reckon you should get rid of the rule altogether. I reckon it's
Yeah, there is a lot of discussion about it. It's just very difficult to be consistent.
Richardson gets the front posse in front of Chalmers, gathered by Lockyer, but Brewer handled it beautifully, didn't he? Nick Stevens, he's playing some sort of a game. He's deep in the pocket. The kick just intercepted a little bit there by the Magpie defence. Grosiska, goal's going to be kicked by Dew. Off the ground, Stuart Dew.
And it's a skill that not a lot of players have in this day and age, the old soccer skill off the ground in conditions that are prevalent tonight. Once it gets greasy and the rain's been pretty heavy and the ball's going to be on the deck, you see Gavin Krosiska trying to pick it up. He gave it a little toe with the right boot to get it going in his direction, and then a beautiful, look at the way he just side foots it around. That is Ronaldo style, that. Very happy with it.
Well, he was a bit stiff earlier in the quarter, missing just by a metre or so, but he got that one. Gee, it's critical, isn't it? The ball handling on the last line of defence by Gavin Krasiska, but Dew got the goal. Buckley, still Nathan Buckley. He's got the footy. He's trying to crash his way clear to get an effective possession away. And still it's rugby-style football in the middle of the ground. Brewer can't get a kick away. And the umpire surely must come in. Ball it up. Gavin Brown. 73 to 59. It's 14 points now, which is going to be difficult for the Magpies to peg back. Francis. His kick forward. Gathered there by Wosley. Wosley wide. Tyson Lane and Steinburner. And it'll be thrown in once again. Every time in this quarter that the rain has looked like abating, back it comes again to confront the players. Slippery conditions, rain falling constantly now. Adelaide gets it down for Stevens. He's not able to break away. He's had 21 possessions, Nick Stevens. The highest possession gatherer is Buckley with 24 and Wanganeen with 18. And Nick Stevens, 21 in the middle of the ground, has been a wonderful contributor for Port Adelaide in this game.
Lade and Krasiska. So as Robbo said, this is a pretty good lead. Collingwood do need the next one. And the ball up again. They've kicked 9 of the last 13 goals, Port Adelaide. Now that suggests that they've been on top for a while. That's a big advantage. Stevens has been excellent. Throw up at centre wing. Pushing for Burgoyne's been good. He's had 16. And a boundary throw in. Retrack 5 minutes. I reckon the bottom line with that out of bounds deliberate, the day we stop players having an incentive to take possession, we've got a problem in the game.
Yep.
A real problem. So we've just got to be careful with all of that. Lade and Krasiska. Krasiska works to the front effectively. Went through Steinburner. And a ball up, or rather Eagleton I should say, a ball up again. So Port sitting on a cosy little lead here.
They need to kick the next goal, Collingwood, otherwise a 20-point race is going to be pretty hard to peg back in these conditions.
Well, Jason, their last goal was in the last 30 seconds of the first half from Tyson Lane. They haven't had one since. Buckley's little kick, Jackatine. Brewer all over the top of him. Port pretty desperate here. Francis' little toe poke was clever. Chalmers didn't take possession. Stevens gets involved. They push forward. King's handball. Burns under the pump. Well done, Burgoyne. Just to slap it forward again. And Port, percentage-wise, was good. They pushed it about 30 metres forward.
Yeah, you can just see a little trait coming into their game. If there's a loose ball on the ground, they're just throwing the boot at it. Not in an indiscriminate manner, but they're just pushing it forward at every opportunity. And that's all you've got to do in these conditions, get the body behind it and keep it going in your direction.
Well, that's what Dew did, didn't he, when he took the ball off Krasiska a moment ago before he kicked the goal. Stevens, clever little kick. Well done by Michael. Russ over. They've got to get it down the other end, Collingwood. That's what they've got to do. And Buckley's probably been thwarted a bit by the conditions. He's no longer able to run as freely and kick it as long and as cleanly. You can see it's cold and it's wet. And if you're a Collingwood fan, it's a little bit miserable just for the moment. Boundary throw in. Treadray got over the top. Burgoyne getting his hands on it a lot. Back to James. Good tackle on James. He gets it back to Harwood. High tackle. Well, it looked all right from here. High at the front maybe on James. Around the front, was it? Well, gee whiz, eh?
Can certainly grab by the front of the jumper as we saw there, unless it's been paid for the left arm a little bit over the shoulder.
James has been an important player. He's kicked from the pocket across the face. Treadray, ball still in play. Godden, it's still in play. So danger here. Krasiska, high tackle on him, and he's got the free kick in the back pocket. Collingwood 9-5. Port Adelaide 10-13.
Not much doubt about that one, though, is there, Bruce?
Collingwood fans screaming there for a free kick. The free kicks are dead set even, 14 apiece. Clinton King, good gather. Hand pass away to Brown. Brown quickly onto the left. Tarrant couldn't take the mark. From behind Francis. Tackled by Freeborn on Bond. Still a chance for the Magpies. Brown can't get clear. Tarrant. Hand pass is pretty well straight up in the air. Burns is on the end of it. Burns goes towards full forward. It slips through the players in that area. Steinburner and Lane. Did he go deliberately out?
I'll tell you, it really is a tough one. I mean,
I'm with the fans. They're all screaming.
look, now again, Jace, he's got no other option. But there
couldn't have hit it anywhere else if he tried.
There's a lot of discussion about it. It's probably a great thing about the game.
Anthony Rocker
Did he throw there?
got the hand pass
Excuse me,
away, but the kick was out on the full. So it'll be taken for Port Adelaide. In the left back pocket was Anthony Rocker.
Good shovel.
A beautiful little rugby pass. Well, the football is in the hands of Nick Stevens. His kick taken by Chalmers. He's tackled by Prestigiacomo. James back to Chalmers. Chalmers in towards half forward. Punched away by Michael. Stevens again. Little kick by Nick Stevens is all right. Eagleton is marked.
Have a shot. There is no one at home. This could skid through if he can get it to bounce.
Well, he's 50 metres from goal. He gets good distance with the kick. Godden, due, still due.
Great smother.
Smothered off the boot by Godden. Gathered by Burns, and Burns will clear for the Magpies. His kick outside his defensive 50 in front of Gavin Kosiska. It goes over for a boundary throw-in.
Gee, it's a very important smother right on the goal line by Godden. Just threw himself at it. Would have been a certain goal to due, and that's really kept him in the game, that smother.
Terrific stuff by Luke Godden. Half forward right, Port Adelaide attacking. Buckley, James, back to Buckley. Handball to Kosiska. Kosiska, not much time, little left footer. Wilson and Brown. Gavin Brown very quiet after that early goal. Bethulis, haven't seen much of him since half-time. Conditions are tough. Back to Brown. Kosiska quickly onto his boot. Wanganeen sits, waits. He's the general. Touches it on the ground. Looks around. Delivers neatly to half-forward. Mark not taken. Chalmers dropped it. Should have been penalised. Wasn't. Little toe poke. Prestigiacomo. Francis. Terrific smother again. Collingwood really putting in hard. Trapped it superbly. Kicks the ball across. Eagleton and Godden. Burns, I should say. Burns towards the pocket. Handball over the top. Razo.
Good pick up.
He's quick, this fellow. Goes away at half-back. Kicks down the line. Tarrant's got it. Collingwood go forward for the first time in a long time. Tarrant, little kick towards Lockyer. Got him. Little push. No 50.
Just did enough to put him off his balance and gain a little bit of time for the Port defenders.
Lockyer's kick. He wants Tucky. Coming back French. Wobbling towards half-back. Boundary throwing. Collingwood at least going forward. They haven't had it forward in ages.
Still goalless in this third term, Collingwood.
Just enough to make sure he goes to the ground so he can't immediately take the kick.
French takes it out of the air, tried to get the hand pass away, unsuccessful. The umpire will bounce about 45, maybe a little closer, maybe 40 metres from the Collingwood goal. They desperately need a goal. Port Adelaide by 14 points with 2 minutes left in this quarter. Port Adelaide have been inside their forward 50 on 14 occasions. Collingwood just 6, yet to kick a goal, as I said. The Collingwood side in this term. That's Steinburner on the screen.
They've had most of the play, Port Adelaide, but they haven't, to Collingwood's credit, they haven't put the score on the board, so Collingwood is still in it even though they haven't had much attack.
Tarrant with the football. He's very clever. Gets the hand pass away to King. Can't slip the tackle. Kick forward by Tucky. Right to the goal line. Freeborn. Back goes Wanganeen. He has played some sort of a game too. And educates the kick. That has just rolled beautifully over about 35 metres further away from the Collingwood goal for a boundary throw-in.
Good news for Port. Kingsley on and Stuart Dew off.
So Kingsley on. That is good news, Dipper. Gee, Wanganeen's playing a game and a half, isn't he? Don't think he's made a mistake all night. Port with the edge. Collingwood need a late goal here. French did well. Got it down to Francis, who has a second go. Then gets his kick away to centre wing. Front spot was Burns. It ricochets away. Tredrea has Michael in pursuit. Tredrea was very clever. Got it to Eagleton. Eagleton kicks it hard and high. Gets it to about 50 metres of the important ball. Nobody back there. James outnumbered. Wasley and Rocker tag team boundary throwing, but that's a big play. Tredrea very clever to Eagleton. Eagleton banging it down the line.
For such a young bloke, he has a great awareness of everything around him, and he reads the play and he selects the correct option 99% of the time.
Tredrea, yes, he is really good. So Port, if a late goal here would really make it difficult for the Maggies from Victoria Park. Buckley, he had to control it. He had to kick it down low and short because he had only one place to go. What a great skipper he is. What a great player. Here's Treadray. As Jason said, he just has an awareness. He tapped that ball back in the path of Eagleton, whose long kick got it from half back to half forward. 9-5 to 10-13. It's been a great first half and has become a slog because of the conditions since then. Razo's kick. Wanganeen chases hard. Back to French. Gives him some space. He stretches King. Kicks it as hard and as far as he can. Chalmers kept his eye on it. Preston Jacomo was good. Buckley to Burns.
Burns has got to kick the ball inside. Keeps it inside the centre square area. But kicked away by Darren Mead. Fairly effectively too. Gathered by Brewer. Gets the hand pass to Bond. Bond into the pocket. That's a good kick. Onto the chest of Treadray, and Treadray will shoot from about 50 metres. Look at the coach. He knows how much time there is left. Hang on to the football.
Siren will go before he kicks it.
Just tell him to slow down, as you knew exactly how much time there was.
Well, that is the siren. So Mark Williams would be pretty happy with that third quarter by Port Adelaide. They kicked 2 goals for, kept Collingwood goalless. Treadray's kick will not score, but to keep the Collingwood Magpies goalless in the third quarter and go into the last term with a very, very healthy 14-point advantage would be a big plus for Mark Williams, and a job that Tony Shaw has got plenty to think about at the three-quarter time break. That is the score at three-quarter time. Port Adelaide 10-13-73. Lead Collingwood 9-5-59.
And it's going to be a huge last quarter for Collingwood to get up here. They're probably going to have to kick 4 or 5 goals. And Port Adelaide win here tonight. They've got 5 more games in Adelaide for the rest of the year. They'd fancy they could make the finals for the first time. Start of the final term. Friday night footy. It's been a terrific game. A great contest. Port with their nose in front here. Lyle back on the ground. Quick kick away there by Wasley it was to centre half forward. King, handball out. Unfortunately straight to Nick Stevens, who's had a wonderful match. He was hurled up, so he decided to kick it long and far and wide. Eagleton there with Burns on a boundary throw-in. Who's on the bench for Collingwood?
Yeah, a bit of experience down here on the bench for Collingwood, Bruce. We've got Francisco and Gavin Brown and young Tucky and Brad Fuller. And both those players are okay, they're not injured. Thanks,
Dipper. So both Brown and Krasiska starting on the bench, 2 of their 3 premiership players from 1990. So they're playing out there tonight. The other one, Monkey. Kingsley, terrific to see him back. Set out just about the whole of this match with that eye injury. Stevens read it well, couldn't control it. Boundary throw-in.
Bruce, these poor players knew at three-quarter time where this game stands, because they all locked arms and they all promised each other their second and third efforts. And it's so important to win this quarter because obviously their season hangs on it.
Thanks, Dipper. First goal here is just vital, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I think Collingwood need to kick the first goal if they're going to be any hope.
Batheris around the body, kicks the ball back to centre wing.
Yes, no one home for Collingwood. Shane Bond has taken the mark in front of Tyson Lane, confidently away to Kingsley. Kingsley towards the forward pocket area. Good mark. Scotty Burns has been a quality player for Collingwood tonight. He's had 14 kicks, 4 hand passes, and he's just taken his 6th mark. Goes very wide, may have just bounced inside, has it? And over for a throw-in.
Robbo, just for Port Adelaide, we have Michael Wilson, Harwood, French and Bassett on the bench.
Thanks, Dipper. Brendan Lay doing the ruck work up against Damien Monkhorst. Gathered by Batheris. Gets the hand pass away. Jackatine smothered as he kicked the ball. Batheris. Kingsley. Kick forward by Lyle. His ball nearly marked by Treadray. Back there is Burns. Little kick by Scotty Burns has found Buckley. Buckley can see the urgency. He's taken a punt. Kicked the ball into the middle. Not gathered there, but kicked away by Preston Giacomo. for Michael. Michael down the line, gathered by Godden, takes a gamble again, into the middle of the ground. Jackatine gets it back. Craig Jackatine, shocking kick along the ground basically. Anthony Rocker leaves it there for Wosley, was it? Now the opportunity for Sav Rocker. He's tackled Bond, he didn't have the football, and Bond will take the free kick right in front of the Collingwood goal when the Magpie diehards were looking for an opportunity goal from the Collingwood players. Across the line, kicked away by Adelaide, and the mark is taken by Paxman.
Almost up the centre wing. That's a good result for Port Adelaide. They're running hard at the moment. Burgoyne in front of us. Class players, had a wonderful season. Kicks it long and hard inside 50. Chalmers and Treadrayer amongst it. Eagleton getting involved. Raso only as far as Kingsley. Well done on the left foot. Attacking hard, Betheris, dropped the mark, did well. Back to Burns. Burns has left foot to space. Francis and Lockyer won't go out. Francis has got it at half forward. Francis kick inside, not so good, and Burns to the guillotine.
Sensational, Scotty Burns. He's kept the Collingwood defence right on top, and had to be.
Across the ground, the kick coming to Frankie Raso. He goes along to Michael, so Collingwood now start to attack from the back. Michael, Monkey may be the target, or Tarrant. The kick high, Monkey keeps his eye on it, takes an important moment. Monkhorst kicks the full forward. They need Saf to do something here. Belted away by Daniels. Tarrant's got hold of it. Buckley hooks it and hooks it for a behind. Collingwood 9-6. Port Adelaide 10 goals 13.
Well, when the handball got shot out from Chris Tarrant, the one person you wanted to be on the end of it was Nathan Buckley. And he wasn't too happy with the effort himself. As soon as he kicked it, he's thinking, oh, what are you doing? What is that? Sets very high standards for himself.
Oh dear, Nathan. Well, you wouldn't criticise him, would you? He's been a terrific player. Paxman nearly run down by Lane, but he got his kick away, went towards the... Oh, Treadray!
Look at that.
Very skillfully done. Warren Treadray, 9 marks, 15 possessions. Marked from behind by Prestigiacomo. Umpire gave that the all clear. Burns, he's got to take a bit of a gamble. He's gone down the middle. There's two on their own. Jackatine, South Rocker, Jackatine. Little left foot kick is all right. Anthony Rocker can kick a goal from here. This place will come alive if he scores a goal for Collingwood from this position.
Well, they talk about pivotal moments in a game, as we saw Jackatine it was coming through and almost clashed with Sav Rocker, but in the end it was a very good pass from Anthony Rocker, and this is a pivotal moment. If he kicks this, the game is open.
Well, you'd reckon he'd get the distance. He leans back. He goes long, but he misses off to the right. 2 straight kicks the margin in favour of Port Adelaide. 73 plays, 61 with 15 minutes left.
Francis to bring it in. To himself. Then short to Lyle, who sat the third quarter out. Back to Francis. Good build up here. They played it well to Mead. Mead can release Steinburn if he wants. Steinburn provides the Shepherd. Mead gets the ball to half forward. Out the back there was Treadray making a contest. Arazo or Jackatine's kick towards centre wing. Wanganeen down the line. Boundary throw in.
Oh, he's good at that. He's good at that. Down the line. Nowhere else to go. Gain a couple of yards.
Gavin Brown on, boys. He's going to full forward.
Razo was a kick to thanks.
Rocker off. Sav Rocker off.
Sav off. He'll probably sit it out for a while now. You're thinking Brown to full forward. Chalmers. Ball comes loose. Chance for Brewer to Burgoyne. Burgoyne kicks it wide to half forward. Dew and got him. Went to ground. Dew's a left footer, remember. He gets back. Still a long way from home. Kicks on his right to the pocket to Eagleton. Big stretch. Wosley at the back. Over the shoulder. Free kick Eagleton.
Now, as Jason said earlier, or asked earlier, if the contact over the shoulder is incidental with the attempt to spoil, then play on is supposed to be the call. Now we see both players in this replay, fly for the mark, but one arm clearly hang on to the front of the jumper over the shoulder, so not deemed to be incidental, but deemed to be a high contact rather than just an attempt to spoil.
Long way out for him. I doubt whether he can kick the distance. I might be wrong, but he's a long way out. They're tired, these players, in these conditions.
They are. He's on the right side for a left footer, and you can expect, because of the distance, he'll run in a bit of an arc out on the left and really try and get a big swing of that left boot onto him.
Kicked a goal in the first quarter. Jason picked it correctly. He's kicked it magnificently. What a goal! What a kick! 10 out of 10 for Nathan Eagleton, and 10 out of 10 for the bloke sitting alongside me who picked it perfectly.
Well, you talk about crucial kicks. We saw Anthony Rocker miss from just outside 50 at one end and Nathan Eagleton at the other. Certainly was a free kick for over the shoulder. You just get that little few extra yards by running out and hooking the ball around, and did he do it beautifully. Very hard to kick accurately when you run out on an arc like that.
So Nathan Eagleton has kicked 2 goals, but importantly for Port Adelaide, it's the first goal of the last quarter. Monkhorst gets the ball away and it is kicked forward, but Bond, the kick coming in from Freeborn, Bond has marked safely across the full back line. Short kick, bounced in front of Braden Lyle. He did well to gather and then got it out wide in the direction of Kingsley. Taps the ball along in front of himself, falling over in front of Craig Jackatine. He takes the ball over for a throw-in. So the bench warmers to take a bit of a jog around the boundary line. We've got 13 and a half minutes left. Big job now for Collingwood. They've got to kick 4 unanswered goals to win this game. 18 points the margin in favour of Port Adelaide. Striving to keep their chances of making the final 8 alive. Buckley, left foot kick by Nathan Buckley. Lands the ball at half forward. Gathered here by Bathiris. Bathiris, the short kick is all right. Brown is marked. Has he been paid? Yes.
I'll tell you what, this will test him for distance. He's going to kick from maybe just a yard inside 50. And he's not the longest kick. He's a good kick, Gavin Brown, but you wouldn't say he's the longest kick in the game. He'll certainly have to give it his best ride here to get this one home.
Brendan Lade and Damien Monkhorst having words behind play. Yes, oh, there we are. Swatting the fly off Brendan Lade's face. Amuses Damien Monkhorst as we watch Gavin Brown shoot for goal from about 40 metres, 45. Good kick, right on the line. Chance for Jackatine. Freeborn, can he keep it in? Jackatine goes in after the ball. He's going to get a free kick, is he?
Did he duck the head there, John?
Well, his head was down. He'd just taken possession of the footy, Jason. When his head's down like that, the obligation is on the tackler to at least attempt to tackle legally. And
I don't think it was that. I think it was the second tackle where he retarded him.
Yeah, the signal was for a high tackle, so I assume it was against Paxman.
Shot for goal by Jackatine has hit the post. Just when the Magpies badly needed a goal, that behind means the margin is 17 points in favour of Port Adelaide.
And, you know, it's that indiscriminate tackle by Paxman that
Hand on the
was
shoulder.
costly. Yep.
Short to Bond. Port sitting on a cosy lead. 9-8 to 11-13. Kick 5 behind since half-time, Collingwood. No goals. Bond's kick a good one. Lade takes the mark. Saw he and Monkey a moment ago. Slow old handball. Paxman good enough. And then dummies one and does very well to get around Wasley and get the ball to half forward. An important play. French was there. King read it best. Handball away okay. Burns held it up very cleverly, but the kick was not good. Lyle's got
Wanganeen loose.
Port could really finish off Collingwood here. He's found him now. Wanganeen's got it. He'll mark the spot. This would be a real captain's goal, the one that he'd love to kick from here.
Yeah, they had a couple of players making space early, and as soon as the kick came out under pressure and landed in Brayden Lyle's hands, he was good enough to get back quickly, pick the best option, and well, you wouldn't mind backing this bloke if they had someone to have a kick. He'd probably like the ball in his hands.
He'll run in hard, he'll probably kick it reasonably low. That's the way he does it. He stretches himself, he hasn't goaled as a behind. So Collingwood still have a chance. Still in with a hope, but it's a fair way back. It's 9-8 to 11-14. Buckley to belt it in.
Be theft by deception if Collingwood got up. It would.
Oh,
I mean, since about halfway through the first quarter, Port Adelaide have been the better side.
Yep. Oh, here's trouble.
Chance here for Stevens. Nick Stevens goes for goal. All the way down. Godden takes it over for a rush behind. So importantly now for Port Adelaide, they lead by 3 goals plus. 3 goals. 1 to be exact, 19 points.
And certainly you can expect Port Adelaide just to play percentage football from here. They won't take risks. They won't be in a hurry to move it on. They'll just play the percentages.
Well, it's just extremely difficult statistically for Collingwood to kick 4 unanswered goals.
And already you see Collingwood there, Nathan Buckley trying a big torpedo.
Jason, they haven't kicked a goal since right on half-time. So it's over 30 minutes. It's approaching 45 minutes since they've kicked a goal, which
and you're asking them to kick 4 or 5 in 10 minutes next.
Exactly. It just statistically is an impossible task. Barnaby French coming off the bench. Sounded all right, didn't it? Didn't even make that up either, Jason. Outside 50 metres. A bit of a dust-up, frustration for Collingwood players.
Yeah, it's paid the call.
Wanganeen's going to take a free kick.
Yeah, Wanganeen's slung to the ground, and the umpire's already blown his whistle and signalled it, so I would expect when this all clears itself up, Gavin Wanganeen will take a set shot at goal.
And I'll tell you what happened was the initial contest before the ball went out. Wanganeen came charging through, eyes on the ball. He accidentally cleaned up a couple of Collingwood players, and obviously Mal Michael took exception to that, and he threw Gavin Wanganeen to the ground.
Beautifully done by Wanganeen.
Well, perfect. And just
Whoops!
Yeah. Gavin gets slung to the ground
but he
there.
took it too far. He's just taken too far, Mal Michael. You can't afford to do that.
Well, I tell you what, there's an Academy Award in there too.
And I'll say one other thing. The Port players were very switched on. They all immediately ran and grabbed Gavin Wanganeen. One of them ran over and grabbed the ball and said, let's go back and have the shot.
Well, fair enough.
Mission accomplished, let's take it.
Yes, if you've got possession, why risk losing it again? So Wanganeen to just about seal this game if he kicks accurately. He's done it. The captain has kicked the goal, and he'll go and tell Mal Michael.
He's going
have a look at this. Have a look at the scoreboard, he's saying.
He might think he can pitch another one. Tempt him to sling him to the ground again.
Well, he's kicked the goal for Port Adelaide there, 12th.
It's rare that you see him get that fired up and that verbal. He's made a point of going over and he played it very well. He had a bit of a wrestle early, and as soon as it got hot, he released his hands.
Double somersault with Pike.
He said, I'll go on the receiving end and take an easy free kick. Look at him go and tell him.
Well, he's played a captain's game, hasn't he?
The smart and the smart.
Yeah. And they're at home, you reckon, Port Adelaide? They've kicked the only 4 goals that have been kicked in the second half, and Collingwood need 5 to win. 9-8 to 12-15. I'm sure that that tape's going to be looked at a few times over the next few days. Where can Collingwood find it from? It's doubtful. Monkey belts it forward, but Theris tries to get it to Buckley. Lyle, who's been good in the last quarter. Buckley, Kingsley. Buckley trying to get it out, can't. You can see the difficulty Collingwood have got now. Kingsley hanging on to him hard, preventing anything to happen. Buckley frustrated. I think Collingwood frustrated, full stop. And Port going like winners. 29,462 the official attendance. A pretty good roll up here. It's about the crowd you would have expected in Adelaide had it been there tonight. Freeborn front spot after the kick came in from Buckley. That's a very ordinary effort off the side of the boot. Back to Lane. Lane belts it hard towards full forward. It won't score.
Played a good game, this bloke.
Yeah, Bond's been terrific after those early goals from Freeborn. He plays so much like his cousin Wanganeen. Kicks the ball to half back. Mark taken by Wilson.
Their defence has been, would you say, underrated or?
It's ranked
you
ninth.
think?
It's ranked ninth in the competition going in, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been good all year. Wilson pops it up to centre wing. We went through all the players there. Worsley getting back. Burgoyne was pretty good. Razo, handball out wide to Buckley. He's the go-to man, isn't he? Buckley, beautiful kick to Michael, who's been a bit frustrated a couple of times. Goes into Jackatine, loves to kick a goal. Jackatine runs hard, kicks it wide, but Freeborn, it falls into his arms. Well done, Glenn Freeborn.
I'll tell you what, when that ball went up into the air, Darren Mead was he was basically in the van. He had the position to turn around, but he just lost track of the ball in the air. I mean, the ball sat up. Mead was also worried about where his opponent was running, and just in that instant, he took his eye off the ball. You could see him down there in the area where the ball dropped, but Freeborn read it better.
Well, this to keep some life in it, because there's 8 minutes to go. He's kicked his third. Collingwood's first goal since half-time. Well, it's doubtful, it's improbable, but there's still a chance.
Yeah, good slick handball there from Mal Michael coming out to Jackatine, who ran his full 15, don't worry about that. And Mead just got lost. He was running back to goal when the ball was going across the face of goal. Glenn Freeborn chipped in nicely, took the mark, kicked the goal just to give them a faint ray of hope.
Collingwood coach's box, Tony Shaw at the back there with Neil Baum and Danny Frawley in the foreground. They'd be hoping and hoping. Centre clearance is from Port Adelaide. Wanganeen, King in the back. Is the advantage with Port Adelaide? No, there was no free kick paid.
No, there's one being paid now, though, behind the ball against Gavin Wanganeen, so...
I reckon he'd be disappointed with the fact that he didn't get a free kick earlier.
Yeah, I think that was what the reaction was for, Robbo.
Kick forward by Worsley. Tarrant misses the mark. And the ball spills over for a Banbury throw-in. Right half forward for the Magpies.
Now, talk about an Academy Award. What about throwing the head back? There wasn't much in that. It was just a little remonstration.
So 19 points the margin in favour of Port Adelaide. It's still a difficult task for the Magpies, the Collingwood Magpies. Daniels kept his eye on the ball, set it up for Brewer, ran into trouble, King tackled and will receive the free kick.
Yeah, that's surprising, because it looked as though he actually got the handball away. Immediately he was tackled.
King goes into the pocket and a good mark. Low to the ground, taken by Fuller. Too far out to score, but he can certainly put the pressure on the Port Adelaide defence. He kicks it up high. Anthony Rocker is going to get the free kick.
And Paxman suggesting, but I've taken the mark, but if that contact above the shoulder is not considered to be incidental with the attempt to mark or spoil, and the left arm hanging over the shoulder is what's been paid, the umpire didn't believe that was incidental. I must admit, I didn't think there was much in it, but that's what he's paid it for.
Well, there's been a few decisions that a question mark will have been raised against, but this is a kick at goal by Anthony Rocker, and he's kicked the goal for Collingwood.
Well, he had an opportunity a few minutes ago. Anthony Rocker had the opportunity from outside 50 to really bring the margin into an uncomfortable one for Port Adelaide, but he's atoned this time, and all of a sudden at only 13 points, it's still 6.5 minutes to go. Collingwood are right back in this. There's a little bit of spite in the game too, so Port Adelaide need to be careful that they don't throw away a match-winning lead.
Well, doubtful free kick to Anthony Rocker results in a goal to Collingwood.
Just down to 13 points from 25. Wanganeen's got to make sure that he just concentrates here. He's played a wonderful match.
And he's heading down back now just to slow things down and steady the ship.
So Collingwood come back. They kicked 2 goals in 3 minutes. It took them 50 minutes to get one. Monkey, Patheris, Collingwood with a chance. Out to half forward. Bond, Rocker. Suddenly there's some urgency, isn't there? Collingwood sends a chance.
Wanganeen boys has now put himself in the back line, and Captain King is sticking with him.
So the captain's gone back to mop up here and try and hold it together. Perhaps they feel they can sit on a 2-goal lead. with 6.5 minutes to go. Goals have been tough to get. Fuller back to Buckley. Buckley hooks it in. Front spot. Terrence got it. It's all happening now. Collingwood are charging home. They sense they can win it. Coming from nowhere, really. Freeborn, the ball falling into his arms. Rocker getting a free kick. Tarrant takes the mark. Big kick, big pressure for an 18-year-old coming up.
Well, he's probably going to face pressure that he's never been under before, because all of a sudden, if he kicks this, well, it's a 7-point margin. I doubt that he's probably been in this position before, ever faced such a crucial kick.
Kick 4 last week, goes for his third this week. 35 metres out, deliberate kick, he's missed it. It's a behind. It's a 2-goal game. Tarrant, 2 goals, 3 tonight.
Just stabbed at that one a bit.
Mark Williams, will he be getting itchy feet? Be boiling over now. So much at stake for Port Adelaide. Win here, they'll be 7-7 with 5 matches at home. They reckon they've got a chance. Lose, well, they're back in the ruck. That was a very gutsy kick from Francis to find Lyle. There wasn't a lot of room for error. Port has not won at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in a long time. You've got to go back to their initial season, and they haven't won a match in Melbourne this year, and their record in Melbourne is pretty poor. Lyle kicks the ball to centre wing. Treadray front spot. Monkey belted it away. Clever kick by Lay. Didn't try to overplay it. Goes to the line and finds it. The odds are still very much in favour of the Power. They're 2 goals in front with 5 minutes remaining.
He's played a pretty good game too, Brendan Lade. He's had 15 possessions, 7 marks and kicked a goal. And that, as you said, Bruce, was a very smart kick along the line. Oh, big punch. Came from Treadray. Fuller gives away the ball to Buckley. Went to try and get it to Fuller again. Eagled and run down by Wosley.
Too long. Spun out of the first tackle and then nailed by the second, so had to be penalised.
What hope he got?
Quickly on to Buckley from Wosley. Buckley still in his very much still inside his defensive 50. Will try to transfer play. Goes into the centre of the ground. The mark is taken by Fuller. Collingwood certainly try to move it on quickly at every possible opportunity. Prestigiacomo kicks across the full forward line. Punch back in towards half forward. Monkhorst, dispossessed. King goes into Brown quickly to Tarrant, to Prestigiacomo. Backs himself under his arm and then kicks it into the pocket. Bounces awkwardly. Knocked clear there by Anthony Rocket. Kicked down the line by Stevens and succeeds in forcing a boundary throw-in about 55 metres around from the Collingwood goal. Down to 4 minutes left. 2 goals the margin in favour of Port Adelaide. Damien Monkhorst and Brendan Lade to contest the boundary throw-in.
Lade lost it a bit there. Stevens little one to the line. Another boundary throw-in. Eating up valuable seconds. Terrific match from Nick Stevens. 19 years of age and playing with a poise and control of a veteran. Monkey and Lade, they've had a fair bit to do with one another tonight. Lade front spot, Monkey reached over the back. Wanganeen, he'll want the line. He's going to be pinged, he's got no boundary throw-in. Oh, they're giving him one.
What about the demeanour of the umpire?
He certainly looked as though he was going. He was signalling for deliberate out of bounds, but then continued with the upward motion of the hands and signalled for the boundary umpire to throw the ball in. But it certainly did look as though he changed his mind.
Still going at it, those two.
Lade's handball to space. Brewer's got to keep his head down. He does. Weighed out of it by Burns. And Fuller over the back of Burns. Boundary throw-in.
Macca, just as evidence of that confusion, the boundary umpire actually started running towards the Collingwood goal because he actually thought that it had been penalised as well.
Yep, certainly looked at it from here. Lade and Monkey. Monkey lays it down. Fuller tried to toe poke. Burgoyne, Monkhorst. Can't quite. Stevens. Clever kick again. Boundary throw-in. Played it well. 87 to 75.
Been an enthralling contest, but Port Adelaide seem to have the answers. Collingwood throwing everything at them. They've kicked the last couple of goals, the Maggies. Umpires found the free kick and to go to Monkhorst. Tarrant. Is the advantage going to Collingwood? It still might. No, surely he's got to give a kick now. He's going to let Port Adelaide go forward. Terrific hand pass coming out there. It's No.
It's hot everywhere here.
3 minutes left. Collingwood, the kick in, taken by Godden. He's going to try and crash through, he does, and then kicks it into his forward half of the ground. Brown couldn't take the mark, but he showed desperation again, Gavin Brown. Out wide there to Lockyer. Francis pretty good, got it away to Bond. Bond's kick. Well, did Nick Stevens try and keep it in? Not according to the Collingwood fans.
I know we don't want it paid too often, but by the same token, it is an ugly tactic of the game. But we don't want it paid too often.
Boundary throw in. Barnaby French and Mark Richardson. Wanganeen, the tackle a little high. Play goes on. Buckley still trying to lift his side, and he's appealing for the free kick. The umpire's having nothing of that.
And that shouldn't be deliberate, because as Bruce said, all he's done is taken possession of the footy while he's running towards the boundary line, and with the ball he
did it well, Nathan Buckley, though. He showed that he was putting no pressure on well before it happened.
Yep.
Boundary throw in, and the ruck contest. Burgoyne gathers. His kick is smothered. Lane tries to knock it forward. Raso, Bond, then Brewer. Brewer along the line. Gathered by Buckley, no. Frustratingly slips out of the grasp of Nathan Buckley. And Wanganeen, I'm sure.
Wanganeen saying it's delivered out of bounds.
He gives some words of advice. Terrific gamesmanship by the respective captains, Monkhorst and Lade, to contest the boundary throw in. Brewer controls the football pretty well. Buckley, the smother was terrific of Stevens, forces it forward for the Magpies, but all he can see for his efforts there is a boundary throw in.
Still trying Buckley. They've been two of the best players on the ground, those two, Stevens and Buckley. Lade, quick kick. Porter home, aren't they? They've got a pretty poor record in Victoria, as we mentioned, at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in this year, but they're going to get over the line. This is a big win for them. Collingwood led by 19 points early. Been a terrific performance by Port Adelaide. Monkhorst, Fuller, Michael front spot, Tyson Lane, Steinburner with him, didn't give the free kick away. Daniels, Wilson, little toe poke, Buckley, long and hard, magnificent kick, what a goal, what a play.
That is just unbelievable. He has done everything a man's capable of doing and more tonight, Nathan Buckley. He's had 39 possessions, kicked a couple of goals, he's throwing himself across the beach to provide smothers, he's chasing, he's done it all. It's been an incredible performance. It's really kept Collingwood in the game, and he's just picked up a loose ball there from 2 steps 50 metres out. He's just kicked that with the consummate ease through for a goal.
Well, we just saw the end of the Nathan Buckley kick, his second goal. But what happened to them in the third quarter? If they're to lose this game, it was certainly in that 20 to 25 minute period. Burns, oh, well done at half forward by the Port Adelaide half forward line. Richardson, hand pass away. Wosley, quickly onto his boot. The ball lands on centre wing, gathered by Lockyer. Lockyer's kick to half forward. A last thrust by the Magpies. Tarrant, well tackled by Trent Ray. Has to be thrown. Prestigiacomo, Michael, Freeborn, Monkhorst. Back he goes. Jackatine, little kick is all right. Oh, Anthony Rocker couldn't take the mark. Bond goes for the boundary line. Gathered by Brown. Shoot for goal. No. The pass is all right. And Freeborn is marked. And they're going to lose the game by a point. The clock ticking down. Freeborn to kick it quickly. If he gets a goal, which will be his fourth, at least he'll stop the clock. Freeborn shot at goal. Is a goal to the Magpies. The Collingwood Magpies and Mark Williams. There's nothing you can do. You're in the hands of the 18 players on the ground. Port Adelaide lead by a point.
They can steal this, Collingwood. They can dead set steal this. There's enough time to win the ball out of the middle, get a quick kick forward, and if someone takes a mark, boy, will they make a hero of themselves. This is a nail-biting finish when it looked all over early on in the last quarter.
I had them dead and buried 5 minutes ago. They're steaming home. What will happen here? The last 20 seconds. Port have to take possession. Collingwood have been magnificent the way they've come back. Brewer kicks to Razo. Razo's handball. Little one by Wosley. Fuller. Bathiris. They're going to run out of time. Wosley back. That's it. Port have won by a point. Sensational match. What a game. What a night of Friday night footy. I'm not sure what you thought about it before the match. We didn't think we'd have one as good as that. Nathan Buckley played his heart out. He gave them hope when all seemed lost. There's the song. They're winding themselves up for it now.
It's more than a sport, it's a true Port Adelaide tradition. We'll never stop till we chop. This history here in the making. Port power to win, we'll never give in till the flag is ours for the taking. Port power!
By 4 points last week. Port Adelaide by 1 point tonight. Another thriller on Friday night footy.